Hit that line.
.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Couldn't ask for much better weather for first pitch tonight at 7 o'clock when the Tennessee Volunteers take on your Arkansas Razorbacks. I know you've been itching to play Tony Vitello, and the Vols didn't get a chance to play him in the regular or postseason last year after what happened in Knoxville in, was it Lindsey Stadium? We're talking about the
Lindsey
Nelson Stadium. I think he got a chance to play them in Hoover as well. But that's going to be a fun one tonight, not just tonight, but this whole weekend series here in Baum Walker. Spring game on Saturday at 12 o'clock. Can't say the same about the weather, unfortunately. Going to have a little bit of rain, it looks like. It's going to start right around kickoff time, around 12. I think the kickoff time is actually about 12:20, but that's when the rain, I think, is going to have a little bit. So I'm not going to say that it's perfect weather like we're going to have in front of us tonight, but you've got that. You've got softball. A lot of sports going on campus this weekend, but we'll start with a bunch of things here on a Fastball Friday.
And it's all brought to you by QC Kinetics. They can help you with a joint pain that's keeping you from all the things you love, whether it's golf or fishing, or maybe you're one of these people that love to work in your garden or, work on your landscaping. Getting up and down and the pain in your knees or shoulder or back can be too much sometimes to keep you from doing the things that you love. Regenerative medicine harnesses your body's own healing agents to restore and repair the damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back, wherever the pain is at. Call my friends at QC Kinetics. They help me with my shoulder. I don't even think about it anymore. Sleep on my left side, don't even think about it. Before, it was something that, you worked around. I don't have to work around it anymore, neither do you. 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234. The consultation is free, so there's nothing to lose. Call QC Kinetics, 999-1234.
Arkansas fans are pretty special. You knew that. There were fans lining up well ahead of the game time later on tonight. Robert Stewart, one of my buddies, was out there. He took a picture. 31 hours prior, you had a good line for the hog pen later on tonight. Now, the reasoning, again, you get in line, the hog pen is first come, first serve. And in addition to that, Tommy, we've talked about seats not being sat in that are paid for but have not just been attended. I don't know if this will reach regional or super regional heights, but I do expect the majority of season ticket holders to use their seats starting tonight.
Oh, I think so, because here's the deal is for this series in particular, if you can't go, you could sell them for a pretty nice, tidy profit for this weekend on the secondary market. So, yeah, I think there will be a butt in most seats this weekend. We thought when the schedule got redone and this was put on the schedule, this would be without question the biggest series of the weekend in the SEC. I don't think you can really argue that it's not. I mean, it's big to us. It's the biggest thing going on in our town. But there's a couple of huge series that we'll look at later on in the show, including South Carolina and Vanderbilt that are going to play this weekend. So it's a big weekend, not just in Fayetteville, and that's what we care about, and I get it, but there's some big, high-leverage weekends around the conference.
Yeah, and just to, again, be very blunt, very clear, it's not the biggest of the weekend. You mentioned the South Carolina-Vanderbilt series. I think there's one more other top 15 ranked series this weekend as well. So
LSU
Arkansas,
and Kentucky are playing too.
That's the other one. So Arkansas is going to be on the minds of us. Kyle Peterson in town. Anytime that Peterson's in town, who's one of the premier college baseball broadcasters, you got something good going. You got SEC Network tonight at 7, and then SEC Network Plus Saturday and Sunday for those games at 6 and 2. So that's kind of the setup for this weekend. And, of course, you can hear it on most of these ESPN Arkansas radio stations and hitthatline.com with Phil and Bubba. I know those two guys are jacked up. Scott Tabor's jacked up. He's going to be joining us at 6:40 this morning. Hunter Yurchek's going to stop on by at 8:05. I know he's excited not just for the series this weekend, but also the spring game. He's going to be probably golf carting all around campus this weekend. I mean, you think about the UAB series, the spring game, the Tennessee. I think tennis is playing as well, and I think volleyball has an exhibition of sorts or something. So there's plenty of sports going on campus here in Fayetteville.
And I don't know that you have and I don't know I shouldn't ask a question I don't know the answer to, but they're playing UAB, which seems out of place for me in the middle of your conference slate while you would play a non-conference softball series. I don't want to ask Hunter Yurachek why that is, but maybe someone knows that. Is there an uneven number of teams? I'm not sure why the schedule works out to have a non-conference series, what would seem to me to be, right in the heart of your SEC baseball or softball schedule. So that's a little bit odd for me this weekend, but it's probably because I don't understand.
Well, it looks like, according to SEC Sports, that Arkansas is the only team that's playing a non-conference opponent this weekend.
Must be a school without a team, or some reason there's an uneven number and I don't have all the knowledge I need on that. But that just out of everything, and it's not a big deal, just strikes me as a little bit odd. You should be playing Alabama, not UA Birmingham.
There's not and UAB's in the American, correct? I believe there's not an American SEC softball tournament that I was unaware of, to my knowledge. So that's, again, it was a little odd. I'm like you. I kind of thought that was weird. I would have thought a conference opponent would have been here this weekend. Nevertheless, Arkansas needs to get back on track. The softball team, they lost to UCA earlier this week. They got shut out in Conway, so I know Courtney Deifel and company want to get stuff done there. They've got a bunch of different festivities. I know Hogtown is starting up at 10 a.m. this weekend outside of Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. You've got different things for the softball team. There's a karaoke night. They've got Big Brad's birthday. They're also giving away what I thought was pretty cool. Today, I think, first 2,000 fans in Bob Walker get a College World Series pendant. I didn't realize that Arkansas had been to 11. I didn't realize the number was that big, but they've been to 11 College World Series.
It's right on the wall out there.
So the opponent, did you know that off the top of your head?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. And the pennant has all of them on there, the years and stuff on there, which I thought was pretty cool. Then. So they've got that, and they're giving away again the first 2,000 fans that are going to be in attendance today, which we're going tonight. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see. I don't think tensions are going to rise. I think it's going to be pretty cordial between Tony Vitello and Dave Van Horn. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they get at each other's throats like they did 2 years ago. I just don't see it escalating to that point.
They weren't exactly at each other's throats, but everybody wants drama. They're friends. We try to turn this into something it's not. Tony and Dave are friends, and we act like competitors are never going to get crossways with each other. It's what you do. Then you go, you go share a bucket of beer. You go eat a pizza. You whatever. The idea that there's going to be some kind of wrestling match at home plate when they exchange the lineup cards. I think we wish that, but again, maybe we'll talk about this later on. Fans and how they feel, and I fully expect Tony Vitello to get booed tonight when he brings out the lineup card, when he makes any appearance on the field. Fans are going to be on point for that. But what are you going to do if and when he becomes the coach that succeeds Dave? Maybe we can talk about that a little bit later on in the show, because I think there's a fairly good chance that might happen. He's familiar with this program, and why? When that job comes up, whenever Dave decides, and I hope it's many, many years from now, there's going to be a lot of people wanting this job. Hunter Yurachek, if he's still the AD, won't have any problem getting candidates to be the baseball coach at Arkansas. That's for sure. That will be an interesting angle maybe to discuss later on in the show. Hey, we are brought to you by World of Wireless. They have a free weekend starting yesterday that includes voice-activated remotes with Dish, a 3-year price guarantee, no inflation. It's inflation-proof for 3 years, free movie channels, all the equipment you need installed for free, installation for free, whole home DVR, HD in every room, all of that. I like the fact that my Sling is built in. I'm going to be traveling for work next week, and if I need to watch the local news or a program on my DVR, I can do it from my phone or computer or my tablet wherever I am at. And they can get you installed with plans starting under $80 a month this weekend with all the free extras. 877-305-DISH, 877-305-3474.
Plenty to discuss here on a Fastball Friday. We'll get a lot more baseball plus some other football and basketball talk coming up.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Have you received damage from the recent hailstorm? Call Freedom Roofing today. They are locally owned, licensed, and insured, dependable roofing company that will be here after the storm. Residential or commercial, they will be there step by step through the insurance process. Contact Keith Holt, 479-597-6777, or Rick Carlisle, 479-651-3247 today for an estimate on all roofing services. Solve your roofing problems with Freedom Roofing and sleep soundly beneath a sturdy roof tonight. Freedom Roofing.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
The horrible internet days in Charleston are now over. Fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect, now available to those in the city limits of Charleston. Get amazing gigabit internet, TV, and phone services from Wave Rural Connect. And don't forget about the new Wave Connect app for the ultimate experience. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call us at 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
What's the room again?
1080, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, don't touch that. It's gross.
Here we are. Got the key?
You have them.
Oh, great. It's not working.
Try flipping it over.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Okay.
Why can't we go inside?
Flip it over.
I'm tired. Oh my gosh.
Give me yours.
Really? You have mine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
I'm tired. Oh my
Just try
gosh.
to.
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Breeden RV. Highway 64 between Alma and Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Tommy, and I had a complete brain lock.
I thought we had a chance for a minute. I was reaching for the bat. I was, about 10 feet to our left? Yeah, it was close.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Got a couple of texts here reacting to Arkansas taking on Tennessee tonight that we'll get to in just a bit. Also, again, want to react to the upcoming spring game that Arkansas has in front of it. It's not going to be the prototypical 10, 15-year-ago spring game. We've kind of moved on from that, not just here in Fayetteville, but other colleges as well. We'll touch on that, and then Chuck's coming up in about 15 minutes.
Hey, the best selection of RVs anywhere in Northwest Arkansas, in fact, the whole region, is going to be found at Wheels RV. Wheels is also very excited right now because they've added a new lineup, and it's one of the best. It's Brinkley RVs, and that goes right along with Grand Design and Forest River, some of the top products on the market that are out there. Stop in and look at the Model Z, the Brinkley Model Z. This has got all of the latest innovation, and this is a luxury fifth wheel. So if you want the best, the Brinkley Model Z is what you want to look for. And just like everything else, all new RVs at Wheels come with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. See Lee J. Chris and the whole crew at Wheels RV, once again voted best RV dealer. They've been voted that year after year. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hogball thinks there's going to be some jawing that occurs on the field tonight, and he thinks it's going to really set the tone from the jump tonight's game. I would guess that Tennessee, if that does occur, Hogball, Tennessee is going to be the antagonist. They're the ones that start it. Not to say that Arkansas won't do some talking of their own, but that is my vantage point of view of what could lead to a little, not physical altercation, but maybe a little verbal altercation or two tonight.
We'll see. I mean, you may be right. I don't know. I mean, Tennessee's not the same Tennessee they were a year ago. They're not quite as mouthy because and had the performance. They were backing it up a year ago. They were seemingly beating everybody. It wasn't close at times. Competition's caught up a little bit this year. Perhaps they're not quite the team they were. They're still a very good baseball team, and Arkansas will be lucky to win 2 out of 3 regardless of who's running their mouth.
Was it Notre Dame that beat them in Knoxville last year? Didn't we have Notre Dame to thank for kicking them out and them not making Omaha? I believe that's correct. Zach Harns was really happy about that. Now, B. Gene Rogers, to our point, Vanderbilt doesn't have a softball team, Tommy. That was what he texted in. Christian double-checked and looked that up. That's why there's an uneven. It's a 13 instead of 14.
Well, I knew it had to be that. I wasn't sure who it – I mean, math, but I wasn't sure who didn't have a softball team.
Not a lot of room for on-campus stuff at Vanderbilt right now. If you've ever been their campus, it's very landlocked. It's very tight, and that doesn't surprise me that they do not have a softball team based on the lack of space right now on that campus located in Nashville and Midtown. All right, let's talk about this football game, scrimmage, practice, whatever you want to call it tomorrow. There's plenty of scenes that I want to see. I know people were excited to see several things, the transfers, the new coaches. I think they're more excited to see the new coaches or new players tomorrow.
Well, okay, other than interaction, I don't know what you're going to really see with a coach. So I don't really know what you'd evaluate other than maybe I want to look at the scheme. Is Travis Williams going to run 4-man front more, or and listen, I'm a fan. I mean, we watch the team, and but to sit here and break down some kind of defensive scheme, that's probably beyond most of us. But what differences just to the untrained eye can you see? And that might be something worth watching if you're wanting to look at it from a new coach perspective. But I think actual practice, because if coaches, I don't know how much the coaches are going to be on the field, and I just don't think you probably carry yourself maybe with the same direction in an open practice with 10, 20,000, whatever shows up tomorrow as you would, when you're on the practice field and things are a little more private.
I don't know if Chuck or Clay was talking about this, but the green jerseys, the added ones that you see, because typically it used to just be a quarterback that wore them, and now different guys across the field are wearing them, not just in practice and whatnot. It's definitely changed the just amount of hitting and the transition there as well. It's not.
I brought that up earlier this week. Yeah, I mean, because used to be the quarterback might be the only one protected. Then it became a running back or a wide receiver, and let's just face it, it's star players, and your biggest players, your most experienced. What do they need to prove? Spring football is about proving something. That's why we've seen the linebackers the last few years when you had, Poole, Morgan, and Henry. What did they need to prove? Or a Jalen Catalon. spring football, what do they need to earn as far as a place on the depth chart? I'm not saying they can't get better. I'm just saying there's nothing that they're going to do in spring that's going to finally reveal to the coach, hey, this guy's good. I mean, they already know that. So it's about keeping a guy preserved, and there's only so many hits. There's only so much that body can take till something's going to break down. So why waste it in the spring, I think, is the current philosophy.
We'll get to some audio from Hudson Clark and Bo Limmer and some of the other guys. Also got a chance to hear from Trajan Jeffcoat. And that clip you heard at the top of our open, him talking about coming over from Columbia and Missouri and liking Fayetteville a lot more, I thought was pretty entertaining. But how they're adapting to not only new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, but new players as well. Arkansas right now has one of the least amount of returning depth and production of anyone in the Southeastern Conference, which is a little worrisome. Let's just be honest. That is something that you think about a team that went 6-6 last year in the regular season, 7-6 overall, and then for you not to have players back. Now, that can be a good thing. Maybe you didn't want certain players back and certain coaches back, but you're sitting here, again, looking at this season ahead, which is on paper not as difficult, and you're wondering who's going to fill in where. And I think there's a lot of roster questions right now, at least from the fans' vantage point, not necessarily the coaches who have seen these guys every day. Well,
and I know what those numbers say that you point out, but I'll start with KJ and Rocket and go from there. I mean, and a lot of that's at wide receiver. That doesn't worry me nearly as much as maybe you, because we're starting with a pretty good spot with an experienced quarterback, and where does Rocket rank amongst SEC running backs right now? He's got to be in the conversation for first team SEC when Nashville it's Nashville this year for SEC Media Days. When Media Days rolls around, I would think Rocket's got to be first team SEC running back.
Do they have one or two guys for that?
Usually two.
Okay, so it'll be him and Quinshawn Judkins, the kid from Ole Miss who had an outstanding freshman year. Yeah, those are. I would expect those two guys to be first team All SEC, and you present the dynamic duo that you have in the backfield that's really hard to compete with, not just in SEC schools but other schools across college football. What you do need to at least look at is who's blocking for them, and I know there's been a shift. Limmer moves over from guard to center, and then some other pieces that they're still trying to figure out on the offensive line, who's playing at tackle and filling on those others. That's something I think a lot of Arkansas fans are wondering about. Again, Cody Kennedy and Sam Pittman have a lot better idea than we do, but it is going to be, at least from an entertainment standpoint, curious revealed, or we'll get some of that come tomorrow, because we'll see at least the first team now in spring. Not to say that it won't change in the fall.
I think this offensive line conversation will extend maybe all the way into the start of the season next year. Hey, the spring sale event is on at WT Equipment. I mean, we can just hear the grass growing right now. I mean, with all the rain and now the sunshine, it's grass mowing season, and you can save up to $350 on Hustler Turf Raptor Series mowers and up to $750 on select Toro zero-turn mowers right now at WT Equipment. There's locations everywhere in Arkansas and North Louisiana. They are one of the largest Hustler dealers in the country. And right now they got a big selection in stock of zero-turn mowers that feature one-piece frames, welded steel decks for durability, and a great Kawasaki V-twin performance engine on board as well. So stop in at WT Equipment. Their staff are experts on these, and they can answer all your questions. It's at WT Equipment. Find a location at WTEquip.com.
Chuck Barrett joins us next. Stay with us. It's the Morning Rush.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I think you've got it. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
The Golf Nut has everything you need to make 2023 the best year ever. In stock now, Callaway Paradigm Woods and Irons along with Cobra Aerojet Woods and Irons. Demos are available. Schedule fitting today. The new Titleist Pro V1s are here. Golf lessons are available. Call the shop and book a time or just play a round of golf on one of the many courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994. Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I can remember when I do midweek games and you'd fill out the lineup card, you always wrote a little smaller for the midweek games because you knew you were going to need some more space as the game went on.
Going to hear from some Arkansas football players in the spring game, kind of their reaction to the offseason thus far. We got more baseball to discuss, but do want to get Chuck's thoughts on Anthony Black. He hasn't had his chance to share his opinions on this show just yet. We'll do that coming up in just a bit.
Brought to you by QC Kinetics. We do it every Friday. We tell you about the people that can relieve your joint pain in your shoulder, back, knees, or hips. If it's stopping you from doing what you want to do, I can promise you, guys, someone's listening that's dreading climbing them stairs or walking up that hill tomorrow because their knees hurt or their back hurts. Well, relieve that pain with QC Kinetics. Regenerative medicine harnesses your body's healing powers. Our bodies can fix themselves, but it takes that and they put it right back in that damaged tissue, whether it's your knee, your hip, your shoulder, your back, your elbow, wherever it's at. And the precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. Find out more about what I'm talking about with a free consultation. You got nothing to lose when you call QC Kinetics today, 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234.
Good Friday to you, Chuck. Plenty of Arkansas sports to get excited about this weekend, man.
It's a big weekend. A lot of people are making plans to head to Fayetteville, and I would imagine a lot of people will be heading this way as we move through the day and on through tomorrow, too.
Got perfect weather for first pitch tonight. Hopefully the rain gets by quick tomorrow if there is any in Fayetteville for the spring game. But I do, and again, we're going to get your thoughts on all that coming up, but the biggest news that we discussed really the entire show yesterday was Anthony Black's announcement. He did it on ESPN. Not really a surprise. Came after his basketball camp over the weekend. Just your thoughts on the decision and what he was for Arkansas in year number 1.
Well, my thoughts on the decision are very simple. I think we all knew this was going to happen. Anyone who didn't was just engaging in wishful thinking. This has been set in stone from the minute he walked on the campus, frankly. Anthony Black's a great player. And if his health holds up, which is always the thing you wonder about, but if his health holds up, he's going to play basketball for a long time. And he's going to make a lot of money doing it. And so happy for him and thankful for what he provided this year. Think he's a great player, tough player, knows how to play the game, high basketball IQ. And he'll be a fine pro. He's not going to be a star now, but he's going to be a fine pro. And, again, if his health holds up, he's going to have a chance for a long career.
When he made the thank you to his family, his high school coaches, I thought he made a really strong statement about Eric Musselman and this Arkansas basketball team, saying that they kept every promise they made. And we talked about that in association with recruiting with Richard yesterday. But, I mean, he gave them a pat on the back, and if I had to guess, Muss sent that to a lot of different recruits on what Anthony said about his program.
Well, I would imagine so. I think those are the, frankly, those are the kinds of things you say on your way out the door. But I think he was sincere in what he said. So, it was a nice thing for him to say. Yes, you're right.
It's cool to see that and the reaction. And then, of course, Arkansas got another transfer. Tommy, you've talked about the timing of this. Jeremiah Davenport, 4 years at Cincinnati. He announced that he is committed to Arkansas. That timing seems to really sync up.
Well, it didn't coincidence. It didn't happen 4 times in a row by coincidence. So, I mean, there's a game plan over there. I don't know why we'd expect any less. I like the timeliness of it because it doesn't leave a lot of uncertainty. It doesn't leave guys like me and you to just kind of wander in a conversation. I'm like, well, wonder what Musk's going to do now. I mean, well, here's your answer. There is no wondering what will happen next. He gives you the answer in a pretty short amount of time.
Well, we like that, I guess. The thing that I like about the players that they're bringing in is you're bringing in some guys who've played. You're bringing in veteran guys. And as we discussed many times after the end of the NCAA tournament, the teams that were left standing at the end had experienced guys. They might have been newcomers to that team, but they'd played college basketball before. And that's the thing that I like about the players that they've brought in. They clearly have a vision in terms of what their needs are and what they want the pieces to the puzzle to look like. But I like the fact that they've got guys who've played. I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Got the number 1 transfer ranking right now across teams on 24/7 Sports, and I don't think you're done just yet. Now we'll have to wait and see who they go after in the coming days and coming weeks, but that's pretty strong right now what Eric Musselman has done in the portal. Still got a Devontae Davis decision, and there's no guarantee that he's coming back, and it's there again a lot of guards they brought in. You can read into that with what you will, but it seems to me that they're not done. There's probably a big man or two that they will still bring in at some point in time, if I had to guess.
I would imagine that they're still looking. How the numbers are going to play out, I don't know. I mean, you look at it right now, and there's not a lot of wiggle room, frankly. But again, that may shake itself out as we move forward. And no, they're not finished. Now, what that means in terms of who's coming and who's going, I don't know. But they're looking every day.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we forget there are body types and skill sets and positions on the floor. If Arkansas needed a running back, they wouldn't go get a left tackle out of the portal, right? Because he's a better he's just a better player. Well, I mean, but the roster needs this. And I think sometimes we look at 5 guys on the floor and how they interact and how they play together, and we forget there's a system and a skill set and a body type and what that player can do versus another one. There may be another one over here that has better stats or points, but you got to go get the fit. And just like you would in football, if I need a lineman, I'm going to get a lineman, not a wide receiver. And there's a difference in some of these guys you're recruiting and what your team needs to round out the roster.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, they know what they're looking for, and we'll see what it looks like when it's all put together. But they've obviously got a plan, and we'll see the finished product.
Yeah. All right, so this weekend just loaded full starting. I mean, you can really say starting now. People are already lining up to get in the baseball park. That's going to lead things off tonight. And then I think football is kind of the focus of a lot of people. I think that'll be maybe the big central gathering, Chuck. I know you've kind of looked at exactly what the team's going to do as far as format and kind of the flow of the couple of hours that they're going to have tomorrow. What fans that file in, what are we going to see? I know you've got gotten a pretty good look at what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, you'll see ones-on-ones. You'll see some periods there where you've got, as they say, good on good. You'll see some kicking game. You'll see stuff from the lines of scrimmage. In terms of, what they're going to throw at one another, I'm not sure about that. But it sounds like it's going to run until about 2 o'clock, 2:15, something like that. I think there's going to be, most everybody who's got a uniform on is going to be out there at some point. And, here's the thing. And I know a lot of people will say, well, what can you learn from a spring game? Or, Tennessee's baseball record's not as good as it was. So the baseball series, it's tarnished a little bit. I don't think any of that stuff matters to the average person that's going to be in Fayetteville this weekend. I don't think the average person going to the football game tomorrow is going to check to see how many down linemen there are. I do think they're going to watch coaches, but I don't think it's going to be, what's this guy doing in a 3rd and long situation? It's going to be, what's his body language? What's he like out there? Is he a fiery guy? Does he run around? First time I've ever seen him. You got all these new players out there. I don't think the average fan's going to be saying, man, Tesla gets more separation than maybe the other guys do. They're not going to do that. They want to see the new guys. They'd like to see something spectacular maybe, perhaps. And, I don't think tomorrow night, based on, how tough it is to get a ticket, I don't think that anybody cares that Tennessee's not ranked number 1 and Arkansas is not ranked number 2.
That's right.
And let me say this. It's going to be as hard to get into Bogle Park at 3 o'clock tomorrow as it is Baum Stadium at 6 o'clock. And I don't think people care that they're not playing an SEC team. My point is, this is an event day. This is a day when people come to Fayetteville to celebrate the Razorbacks. This is when the majority of the people in the ballparks are not going to be focused on the nuances that maybe the person who fancies themselves the smart sports fan is. This is about the Razorbacks tomorrow. It's about that logo on the jersey. It's about people getting in their cars and experiencing a spring day together. That's what tomorrow's about. The spring game I think is going to be fun. I think there's going to be things there for the football aficionado to get their teeth into, or someone who fancies themselves that, the coach in row 47.
Yeah.
But I think for most people, it's just going to be about being together, having a big Razorback day in Fayetteville. And I know a lot of parents are hoping those kids sleep well on the way home.
It's spring homecoming. That's what.
Well, to a great extent it is, yes.
Yeah. So, I think that will be fun. I don't think that guy sits in 47. He's in the row behind me, that coach guy. He's got a lot of thoughts. That guy sits in my section about what the coaches should be doing.
That's Z with you, right, Chuck?
I'm glad that they're doing this, and I know that the schedule and the calendar doesn't always fall together. But I've seen other programs in our league do things like this every year for many years, and it is, as you say, Tommy, it's a spring homecoming, and we need to be doing this every year. Yeah. You've got to have some give and take among the sports. You got to make this work. They're going to descend on Fayetteville. I can tell you the traffic in Fayetteville yesterday was different than it normally is on a spring Friday, or a spring Thursday. I'm sorry. So it'll be different tonight, and it'll sure be different tomorrow.
I know for my friend group, I have friends coming from Dallas, Memphis, St. Louis, and you spoke to it being a homecoming weekend, and they're trying to hit everything this weekend. Friday night game and spring game, Saturday. They're trying to get it all at once, and because the thing's spread out 12, 3, and 6, you really do have the opportunity to do that. That's the other nice thing about this is not only do you have all the teams that you're excited about playing at one day, they did it in a way where you can catch each event, which is sometimes hard to do.
Unless you're already lined up for the hog pen.
Yes, which again we mentioned that earlier, the fact that 31 hours before first pitch, you have people that are out on the hog pen.
You should be out there with them, Ty.
I know, man. I know. I got to work.
Next time this happens, you got to do the morning show from out there.
You can leave now.
You're going to say something?
No, I think that's exactly what you should be sitting in line in a chair and a bag and go. Yeah.
I'll leave right now. You don't have to.
But you got to stay there.
You don't have to convince me.
You got to stay there till tonight.
There's plenty of
stay
food.
there till
you
tomorrow
can't go out
night.
there and do the show and
There's
then
plenty
and
of
then
food.
leave.
No,
Hey, there's going to be people that will leave the ballpark tonight at the end of the game and will walk right outside.
Yep.
Get back in their tent or pitch it again, and get ready for tomorrow night. That's just how it's going to be this weekend. I think it's awesome.
When did that start?
Well, that's been
how long has that been? Because I know that you've talked
at
about
early Stadium. At Balm. Well, it was after 04. It was they weren't camping out then. Some of that's happened over the last 5 years or so, and it's kind of one of those things that piggybacks off what's happened in basketball and football and things like that. But it's a fairly new phenomenon for baseball.
I do remember that kind of period you're talking about, following Brady Toops, following that College World Series kind of renewal, if you will. Wasn't their first, but the first they'd been in a while, and kind of in the, I hate to call it the modern era, but the Dave Van Horn era. Following that super regional with Florida State. The hog pen era. I would go up. I was a lot closer to your age at that time, and we'd go for midweek games or Friday night games, and we'd get there at 3, 4 o'clock and line up. You didn't have to get there 31 hours in advance, but you'd get there 2 or 3 hours because the crunch then was the grills. If you wanted to grill to put burgers and dogs on, you had to hustle. There was a very limited number then, and we carried our own grill in at that time, and they allowed. There's a lot of things they allowed out there that weren't normal at that point. They were new still.
It was one of those deals. I remember when they first opened it up, and they were really strict. They were really strict about what went on out there. And, I can tell you, just looking at some of the things that go on in outfields around the SEC now, man, when I started doing it, they didn't let them do that. It wasn't anything like that back then. And so they've, then they started figuring out they could make some money selling beer and letting them bring their stuff in. So everything they
didn't want to look in the coolers anymore.
Well,
that was uncomfortable.
what are you going to do? What are you going to do in that situation?
Throw that cough syrup. Oh, okay.
There are so many places in our league. Mississippi State's really the one that got it started years ago, but there are so many of them in our league now that have great outfield atmospheres. Let's pause for just a minute. Those of you who are buying or selling a home, those of you who are in the real estate market, by choice or by necessity, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, is the name you need to remember. Why? Because they're the pros. Because they're the ones that have the best training in the business. They're the ones that understand the market better than anybody else. That was my experience when I partnered with them first to buy and then to sell. And I think that'll be your experience too, particularly if you're a seller. You know that getting from contract to close isn't as simple as it sounds. It rolls off the tongue, but trying to get from one spot to the other is just not that simple. You need somebody on your side of the table that can get you there. Same thing for a buyer, too, because, hey, all you got to do is read some of the newspapers and understand that, sometimes you get into a bidding war, and you need somebody on your behalf that can help navigate you through that. Now, they've got an office in Fayetteville. They're in Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith. They're in Branson now. And you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Scott Tabor joins us now, former College World Series Razorback pitcher. Now, Scott, everyone's going to make something out of Tony Vitello and Dave Van Horn.
Well, Ty sure is. That's for sure.
Back in the day,
Ty's rooting for a riot. Sorry,
I would
man,
like
go
to.
ahead.
No, I'd like to see one. Back in the day, did Norm ever jaw at another coach? Was there another, not fist fight, but was there an altercation that Norm ever got into with the Texas coach or someone else?
No, but if there was, bet your money, put your money on Norm. There wasn't anybody in the league that could take Norm back in the day. Probably still today. They jawed back and forth a little bit, and back then, Norm was on you to get on the other team. It's called bench jockeying, and I mean, you could just rag them about everything, and there were very few sacred things. Try to get a reaction, try to get a pitcher rattle, especially if you had a young pitcher out there. And some of the stuff that was done was hilarious. Texas was the best at it. They had a whole thing orchestrated up in their fan base, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, Norm he'd get on them pretty hard. Pretty hard.
You bring up Texas. Does this game, this series, does it feel like a build-up for Texas, or is it still nowhere near that?
Well, there's a lot more tradition in the Arkansas-Texas because of the football. I think the Arkansas-Tennessee baseball, because of Vitello and Van Horn and their relationship, and I don't think it's as bad a relationship as everybody wants it to be. It's always nice to have a villain, but I don't think there's much villain there as people are making it to be. Of course, I'd like to see a nice little wrestling match out at home plate. That'd make it even better down the road. But yeah, I think they kind of are, and because they're becoming a powerhouse. Arkansas is an established powerhouse. Tennessee came up last year and had that fantastic team that just failed at the end. So I think they are kind of becoming Texas.
Scott Hunter Holland, the lefty for Arkansas, is going to get the ball tonight, and he'll be on the mound. Walk us through the kind of the mental setup. When it's kind of like being the starting quarterback, or you got a big game, big weekend. You've known for several days it's going to be yours on Friday night. What's that like to mentally prepare and to get yourself ready for maybe the biggest atmosphere you've ever played in?
I'll tell you, when you become the Friday guy, it's really, really the biggest vote of confidence that you can have from your teammates and your coaches. They're saying, you're our guy. We want you to take the ball first night and get us a win. You go out there and back then it was go out there and throw 9. Now let's get out there and give us 5 or 6. We're pretty happy with that. But it makes you feel good inside. It makes you feel good about all the work you put in. But he'll go through his mental prep. He'll go through, I had some routines that I kind of went through that I did the same thing pretty much every time, every day, every Friday. I'd sit up on the hill and listen to Jimmy Buffett in my four-door Granada before the game, watching everybody take batting practice. And, he'll have the stuff that he goes through, and they go through the scouting reports, and the analytics now are so far off the wall, it'd be too much work for me, too much math. But I let the catcher take care of that. I think they do a really good job of prepping everybody for it. So he'll just go through the whole thing, and it's we make a bigger deal out of it than it is to the players. It's just baseball. Once they get down there and step between the lines, then it's just baseball. Still 60 feet 6 inches, and you got to throw good pitches.
So beyond just throwing strikes, what's important early? What will you be looking for early beyond just finding the zone?
Well, establishing yourself, establishing your fastball. You always have to establish your fastball. Then your off-speed pitches. The further you get into the game, then you can work backwards in the count. Some games, you don't know what their scouting report will be. They may be early count fastball hitters, and so they may have him, starting off with a lot of off-speed stuff and then coming back in with a fastball. You kind of get a feel for the game. You see how the crowd's into it. You see, you get through your first inning or two, and you see how your hitters are responding to their ace. And it's a lot of ebbs and flows during a baseball game. And pitchers, you can see it. Pitchers sometimes have them locked down, and all of a sudden they just lose it for one reason or another. They just lose it, and it's generally because they're trying to get a little too fine, and they grab a little bit too much at the plate. So hopefully he can keep that focus. And the fans will get into the game tonight. I think it's going to be a really, really exciting time.
Tabes, how worried should we be about as fans this Jared Wegner deal and his hairline fracture in his hand on his thumb? I mean, I don't know if you've been through that before, but obviously if he's out of the lineup, I mean, he's been one of your power hitters this year. How does that change things if he's not able to play this weekend?
Well, it's an opportunity for somebody else. There's a lot of really, really good talent on that team. And Jared came in and he's exceeded expectations. You hate it for the player, you hate it for the team, but they'll jockey somebody else into that position, and they'll have plenty of sticks in the lineup. Hopefully he can play through it. And you don't know, hairline fracture, that's just kind of it's so obtuse. You just don't know exactly what it's going to be, how much pain it's going to be, in his swing. Hitters don't generally use their thumbs as much as people think they do, but they just have to kind of wait and see. Hopefully he can swing it.
Tabor with us this morning, former College World Series Razorback pitcher. Scott, I want to ask you about Tony Vitello. You mentioned just the possibility of something. I said yesterday, I was pretty adamant about that. The biggest story of this weekend is whether Jared Wagner can play or not. What do you think, Arkansas fans? How would they feel if Dave Van Horn kind of helped move along the idea of him becoming the next head coach when he steps down? How would that go?
Some of the fans wouldn't like it. Personally, I like Vitello. I wouldn't mind having my son play for Vitello. I think he's a fiery guy, a very knowledgeable guy. He wouldn't have gotten the head coach job leaving Arkansas. He wouldn't have gotten that job at Tennessee if he wasn't an outstanding coach. And he's shown it with his record, and he's shown it with his production. Great recruiter. Kids love him. Every coach is a little different in the way they handle situations and the way they fire their players up. He's a little bit younger than Dave. Dave and I are the same age, so he's a lot younger than Dave. I wouldn't mind having him. I think the fan base, because of the success that he would have here, would embrace that. Everybody kind of likes to see a little chippiness. I think some of the antics are a little over the top, especially when they're against us. So they get multiplied when they're against us.
Well, it should be a fun weekend. I know we're all looking forward to watching beginning tonight, and Scott will catch up with you next Friday as we're at the halfway mark. If you get three in this weekend. So, yeah,
we're finding out a little bit about our team. Still, there's nothing set in stone as far as our starting pitchers. Everything's still kind of up in the air. But it's that way for every team. The injuries happen, and we'll work our way through it.
All right. We'll talk to you next Friday, Scott.
All right. Go Hogs.
Scott Tabor with us every Friday here on the Morning Rush as we get ready for another big Arkansas SEC baseball weekend. It'll be the 5th SEC series. Should be games 15 if you get them all 3 in this weekend. We're brought to you by Bet Saracen. If you want some action on the games this weekend, guys, it's all there for you on the Bet Saracen app. If you haven't downloaded that in the Apple App Store or wherever you get your apps, whatever kind of phone you've got, it's there waiting on you. Go to BetSaracen.com. There's a really cool video you can download and look at and figure out all the little neat features and how to play and the in-game stuff. And there's stuff on the Arkansas-Tennessee series. There's other SEC baseball on there as well. So it's all there for you at BetSaracen.com. NBA playoffs. I know a lot of guys taking a look at the Thunder, and we're really interested in what happens with your Oklahoma City Thunder tie. So
play tonight.
It's all there at BetSaracen.com.
Isaiah and Jalen back in action tonight. Can you guys just see Scott listening to this, sitting up there on the hill?
Oh, Buffett?
Can you listen? Chuck, can you imagine that?
I can
just
imagine
looking at the field,
I can imagine.
listening to that.
That'd have been back in the old day when it was there were, I guess, what the parking decks had in front of the Hyper.
At George Cole Field.
May not even been a Hyper building back then.
Yeah, there was a Hyper, but that was it.
Yeah.
There was a little streak between the two.
I've been to a couple Jimmy Buffett concerts. That's a good time. If I had to guess, Scott has as well. Hour number 2 coming up. Again, more baseball. We'll jump back into football as well. Here for some of the players, what they had to say. All that's coming up in hour number 2 of the Morning Rush.
At Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Matt, it's almost summertime.
Yes, it is, Dad. Spring's here, and summer's not too far away.
So, Matt, you know what that means.
Baseball season.
Yep, You be right.
And Hog fans, we have everything you need to get ready for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts to hats.
From stuff for the grill to lighted signs and decorations for your fan cave.
We even have those bases-loaded beer hats and them boppers.
Hey, Dad, what's a bopper?
You know, those springy things that have 2 beer cups on the top?
Oh, yeah, those things. I've seen them everywhere. Well, no matter what you need, we have you covered.
So, Hog fans, come by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville and call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. And Matt, as usual, I'm going to leave them WW facegram things up.
Our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Matt, this time of year reminds me of when your mom and I first started dating, man.
Dad, wait, hang on. That's just too much.
Oh, okay.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Go Hogs.
Play the Multiplier family of scratch-off tickets and win big with the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. Multiply your winnings 10 times, 20 times, up to 200 times. Ticket prices range from $1 to $20, and top prizes from $5,000 up to $500,000. Arkansas scratch-off players win more than $1 million every day. You could be next. Look for the X to play, scratch, and win. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke Mile Service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Jersey Mike's, now open in Fort Smith on Phoenix, believes in the value of ingredients, premium meats, the freshest vegetables, and delectable bread baked throughout the day. And then there's the juice that elevates your sandwich to the highest level. You'll taste the difference in every bite. Jersey Mike's subs are perfect for catering the office or your next tailgate party. Their cookie and brownie trays are the perfect finale to any type of gathering. Fresh baked daily, right there in the store. Jersey Mike's, the best submarine sandwich on the planet, always.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will climb in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, and overnight low will drop down into the low 60s. We will start to see an increase in the cloud cover on Saturday. Chance of seeing some showers and storms. Our high temperatures low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Outside is fun again with Mosquito Joe. Mosquito Joe rids your yard of pesky mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas so you can enjoy being outside. Call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960 or visit ArkansasMosquitoJoe.com.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
The city of Fayetteville is pretty cool. It's way better than Columbia, Missouri, where I was at prior. I really enjoy being here. The atmosphere, everyone is very loving. Everyone is very respectful as well.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
You heard Trajan Jeffcoat there, one of your newest transfer additions, who came over from Columbia, Missouri, as he said. Talk about Fayetteville a little bit. He was also talking about the spring game yesterday. I want to share what he said coming up, just the excitement of getting in front of play Razorback Red, which I thought was pretty cool how he framed it. We'll share those words coming up in just a sec.
Fastball Friday is brought to you by QC Kinetics. You're like me, you got them old man pains starting to creep up. Maybe it's from an old injury. We tell everybody it's an old football injury. That may or may not be true. But, hey, whether it's arthritis that hurts, whether it's an old injury that just seems to nag and won't go away, but there's just pain in a joint, hips, back, shoulder, knees, elbow, whatever it is. There's lasting relief without surgery or drugs or downtime available with our friends at QC Kinetics. Call now at 479-999-1234. They'll tell you more about regenerative medicine and how they use the healing powers and the healing agents in your body to restore and repair the damaged joint tissue that's hurting you right now. So there's ways to get that relief from the pain that's keeping you from doing the things you love with a call to QC Kinetics right here in Northwest Arkansas. 999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Here's Trajan Jeffcoat yesterday on getting to play the spring game.
I'm excited to see the fans because they be rocking here. I'm really enjoying all red. Just want to see a lot of the fans here and just do what I can do my part.
Chuck, you were talking about this being a Razorback weekend event and the level of just readiness that fans have for this entire weekend. But you also spoke to earlier this week, players are just ready to showcase their own abilities in front of the fans that will be in attendance on Saturday as well.
Oh, I think they're looking forward to putting on a show. You know, if you're a player, I mean, you know, they're going to get fired up. They're going to run out of that north end, and, you know, they're going to be ready to play, and they're going to hear the cheers, and people are going to be excited to be there, and they'll feed off that.
Yeah.
You know, I think they'll enjoy themselves.
Yeah. They'll be excited spring practice is over, too, to a degree for some of them.
Well, maybe so. You know, one of the things, and it's you know, this gets lost a lot of times when you get into spring practice. We get bogged down in the minutiae, as the old saying goes, but this has been a really physical spring practice. I mean, you know, that's really been the hallmark of the Sam Pittman era, is they practice physically. You know, when he said right off the bat, I think, you know, you got to hit every day. Those weren't just words. I mean, that just wasn't, you know, the first day press conference stuff. I mean, he was laying it out there. And I think they've had a really physical spring. I think they've found some things out, maybe more than, you know, we realize in terms of who their personnel may be. You know, we tend to focus on the game, and we'll say, well, you know, this guy played here, this guy played there. These guys have a full body of work, and they've got video to go back and watch endlessly. And I think that they've I think they've learned a lot of things about their team over the course of the last month, and clearly they'll learn even more and, get into the real blood and guts of it when we get to August. But I think they've learned a lot about their football team over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
And perhaps this may not be an absolute, but perhaps, guys, we'll get a glimpse into what the coaches are thinking based on portal activity over the next couple of weeks. Portal opens tomorrow. Maybe I don't say that's an absolute, but you might get an idea of where their heads are at as a staff based on what they do and don't do in the portal.
Well, I don't think that's going to be a reaction to like, this guy had a bad spring, we got to go get a guy. I think they know. I think on the defensive side, you better go get some interior linemen, and you need safeties. You need safeties, and you need interior linemen. You need somebody who can play nickel. They got some needs, and I think that. But I don't think it's going to be, well, this guy really was not very good the last month. We got to find his replacement. I don't know that it's going to be so much that. I think they knew coming into the spring where they were in terms of personnel, and I don't really think anything's changed in terms of that based on what has happened the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think they knew then, and I think they know now.
I'll be interested to see if they go and try to find, or if there's an available offensive lineman that's a veteran player that maybe they want to bring in. I would be interested to see if that happens.
Maybe. I think they're more set on that offensive line than you might think. I think they've got a pretty good idea about who their guys are going to be when they go into to August, and I think they have a much, much better idea about who's going to play where. I think they're pretty settled on that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a guy.
I like that.
I'll tell you a guy that we've not talked about is Josh Braun. The kid that transferred from Florida. He originally committed to Pittman when he was at Georgia, went to Florida. He's going to be the right guard, it certainly looks like. This is an older guy, married guy. He's here for a reason, and he's on a mission. And they brought him into play. They brought him in to start. And, he's a guy that, again, I think Bo Limmer's the leader of the group. It may be more by example than by, he's not a big talker. But Braun's a guy to keep an eye on. And I'll tell you somebody else that's had a good spring is Patrick Kutas. Pittman said from the very beginning that he's thought he's a player. And, I think perhaps we went into the spring thinking Tykees Crawford and Amarian Harris were going to be starters up there. I'm not sure it's going to be that way. I'm not sure it won't be Braun and Kutas when it's all said and done. I think we're there. Yeah, well, at guard and tackle on the right side.
Okay, got you.
I'm not sure those aren't going to be the guys by the time we get to the games. I think they're still maybe a little less settled on the left side, beyond Latham at guard. But, we'll see how it all plays out. But my point is I think it's been a very physical spring practice. And when you're talking about linemen, that's the only way you find out sometimes. Yeah. And so I like their approach, and I think that, we won't see it. It may not be glaring as we watch the spring game. But, again, they've got the full body of work. And I think they've, as I say, I think they've got a lot more answers now than they did 3 or 4 weeks ago.
And I guess the other unknown, we talked to Tom about this a week or so ago, that the kid from Maryland, Tommy Barhall, transfer. I don't think he's not been in yet, so he's an unknown to this staff. So, he may factor in August. But, I know it's not as fun a conversation, but that's where you're going to win or lose is what happens up front.
Well, it is. And, Carter's had a good Tarian Carter, by all accounts, has had a very good spring. They've not been able to, Cam Ball's been hurt, and he's going to be a mainstay next year. Eric Gregory's been a good player. But, there's some guys behind him. Marcus Miller's been here a while. It's time for him to show what he's got. There's a new guy. There's some new guys that are in there, and as you say, this portal guy that's committed, he may be somebody they plug in there too. But I do think as the portal begins this weekend, I do think interior linemen and safeties will be the spot where they're really looking.
All right, we'll get to more of it, and Hunter Yurachek in the next hour will be with us as we'll talk about the Woo Pig weekend and everything going on. It's a busy weekend for him and his staff. Hey, it's a busy weekend at Burton Pools and Spas. People starting to think about opening their pools and getting ready for spring and summer swimming. They're celebrating 45 years at Burton Pools and Spas. And when I built the pool, that was the reason I chose Burton's. I knew they had been around. I knew they'd be around. And right now they got anniversary specials that include Doughboy, Hydrosphere, and semi-in-ground pools. They got packages up to $5,000 in savings right now. They got deals on hot spring spas and hot tubs with payments as low as $80 a month. So stop in and celebrate 45 years with Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale. And in Fort Smith, they build more than pools. They build relationships at Burton Pools and Spas.
Let's get into our Morning Rush Daily Question when we return.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
What does a food truck chef in L.A.,
Order up.
a hip-hop producer from St. Louis,
Check, 1, 2.
and the king of the pickup courts in Philly have in common? They share the same grit, resilience, and passion for what they do. Because the people who share the same spirit share the same beer. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
810 Billiards and Bowling is fun with an upscale attitude. Enjoy live music starting April 27th. And every night is late night happy hour from 10 to close with half-price apps and 75-cent wings. Don't forget Razorback Baseball. Enjoy $2 drafts on select beers while you watch the game. Whether you like to bowl, play games, or shoot pool, 810 Billiards and Bowling has the perfect venue. Located at 5609 Rogers Avenue, across from Randall Ford. 810 Billiards and Bowling. We have something for everyone.
Let's talk about Mosquito Joe misting systems. You know, misting systems perfect for homes with really bad mosquito problems you just can't seem to get under control. It's like having a Mosquito Joe technician on your property 24/7. Misting systems are great for homes with pools, patios, and even horse barns, things like that. If you think a misting system might be right for you, give Mosquito Joe a call. Tell us you heard it on ESPN Radio for $200 off your installation. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Springtime is around the corner, and tax rebates are here, and River Valley Truck Outfitters is ready to help you get your vehicle looking good. Window tints, bed covers, and more. Steps from Power Step to black and chrome lifts and level kits. River Valley Truck Outfitters will get your vehicle looking good on Highway 71 at the top of Rye Hill, where you can get your special wheels, tires, and more. Your number one stop truck accessory store, 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, let's get pretty straightforward on this. When Dave Van Horn retires, would you take Tony Vitello back as your head coach? Now, I think when you look at Arkansas head coaches right now, the main three, Musselman, Van Horn, and Pittman, the one that's probably despised outside of this fan base the most is Musselman because he does things a different way than a lot of coaches. But you love him. You love him to death because he's your guy and he wins. Tony Vitello wins. He recruits. He does things a little differently. His teams do things a little differently. So that, again, is the question. Would you take him back if Dave Van Horn signs off on the hire, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is, whenever he decides to hang up the cleats or whatever he wears, would you take Tony Vitello back?
Well, you said the key there is the anointment by Dave Van Horn. I don't care.
What would you do, Ty?
Yeah.
What would you do, Ty?
I don't have an issue with him, but I've talked to a lot of older fans that do.
Well, you were hating on him in the first hour. You were rooting for a riot.
I want a riot. It's good for college baseball. College baseball is
how is
good
that good for college baseball?
How is that good? Yeah.
Tell me how 2 years wasn't good for college baseball when you saw.
Oh, it was good for people that like to talk trash, but college baseball was fine before that. It's fine now.
College baseball needs help. College baseball.
That's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
College baseball is far behind college basketball.
You're trying to apply a football mentality to all this, and it's a different deal.
Because
college baseball's never been better.
That's debatable. But
where is it bad? Where is it bad? What's wrong with it?
I've heard again people a lot smarter than me talk about the amount of home runs in the course of a game, that it's gotten out of hand at some point. Again, there were adjustments in the offseason because of the time that they've adjusted, so they've made adjustments on that, and that's good. But
they've done that in Major League Baseball.
I know. I realize that. But
fan interest has never been bigger in college baseball.
I mean, you got people buying tickets on StubHub.
Yeah.
I mean, it's college baseball has never been healthier.
But it's still neat. I mean, the idea that you can't get better.
No, it needed that to get your interest, but it's not needed that to get the public's interest.
So a altercation, you guys don't think would add anything to this series this weekend?
Well, I'm not saying it would make it more fun, but you're saying it's good for college baseball, and college baseball needs help.
Guys,
I don't agree with that.
What just happened in the women's basketball championship with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? You
totally
had
different deal.
How is that different?
Oh, Ty, I listen. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with you here, but the idea that college baseball needs help and it needs altercations, I think is a little over the top.
Let's recenter and come back to your question. The question is, would you be happy if Tony Vitello was at some point, hopefully many years from now, the next head coach at Arkansas?
Timing is going to have everything to do with this, just like it has to do with everything else. It just kind of depends on the timing, where we are. I don't think Dave's got one foot in the grave. I don't think he's thinking about walking away. I think he's as motivated as he's ever been, and he's I guess he's 61, 62, something like that. He's a youthful guy. I mean, he hadn't let himself go. He's not somebody that you look at and go, man, he's going to have a heart attack. He's not one of those guys. He's a healthy guy. Takes care of himself. So I don't think he's going anywhere. And, this is all manufactured. It's just manufactured. This is not, and frankly, it's not needed. for this series. It's been my experience that when one coach dislikes another, and I don't think these guys do dislike one another, but I think when there is genuine dislike among coaches, it always has to do with recruiting. It never has to do with anything that happened on the field. It always has to do with recruiting. And, Dave talked about this week, that, this all started because Tennessee had a commitment and Arkansas didn't know he was committed, and they called him up, and Arkansas had a player that they had committed, and Tony called him up. And one of them said one thing about that to the other, and the other said, yeah, what about you? And before you know it, they're at each other's chests. And, look, if you do anything at a high level, if you're any good at what you do, and there's any money on the table, you're going to have heated disagreements. If you don't, there's something wrong. If you don't have a heated disagreement when all the cards are on the table, there's something wrong with you. And those guys had a heated disagreement. And that's all there was to it. And anything else has been manufactured. And I know it's fun, and I realize that fans get into all that, but it's not really going to have anything to do with what happens on the field this weekend. It's not what happened 2 years ago is not going to make one iota of difference on anything that happens on the field this weekend. It's just going to be more fun for the people watching.
Now, Ty, here's where I do agree with you. If there was some chest bumping and there was some finger pointing and there was some nose-to-nose, it would make our job a lot more fun and interesting on Monday morning. But I don't know that it makes college baseball as a whole any better. I mean, it might make our job a little more entertaining, might add some spice to the gumbo. But, Chuck, your point and argument is right. There's never been a time until recent years where people were paying $200, $300, $400 for a college baseball ticket. It wasn't that many years ago. They're just giving them away, hoping people would use them. I mean, so the point is college baseball.
That's in Arkansas.
Well, I think it's across a lot of the SEC
schools.
It's
all across the league now. And SEC baseball, the schools in the warmer climates have always led the way when it comes to college baseball. Frankly, you don't compete against the entire country in baseball the way you do in some of the other sports because it's just not conducive to the climates in a lot of the conferences in our country. In Southern California, for years, the Pac-8, first the Pac-8 or the Pac-10 and then the Pac-12, they dominated, but nobody went to the games because you're in an area where there's an enormous value for the entertainment dollar. Let's be candid. There's not the competition for the entertainment dollar in some of these small towns in the SEC that there are in major cities. There's just not. And that's why we gravitate toward this. And
L.A. Starkville.
But the warm weather schools have always propped up college baseball. Nothing's changed on that in the last 50 years. It's not going to change in the coming 50 years. So I think the health of the game's never been greater. The crowds at Omaha have never been bigger. You've got people that have season tickets, not just here, but all over the Southeastern Conference, who 15 years ago couldn't name you one player on the baseball team. And now they never miss. They can tell you what the lineup card's going to be before they even get out of their car. The game's never been healthier. Are there flaws? Are there things that are problems here and there? Yeah. And for the most part, they've corrected it. And I never heard a fan leave the ballpark since they changed the bats in 2000 or so. I've never heard one fan leave the ballpark saying, man, there were too many home runs tonight. I just didn't like that. I'd rather see a 100-hopper to center field. Come on. It's an entertaining game right now, and I don't see anything wrong with the health at all.
Cindy,
and let me say this. Tony Vitello recruited a lot of players that we won a lot of games with here. I'll just say that.
That's a great point. Sydney in Northwest Arkansas says that Tony Vitello has a lot to prove before that. And I think that's when you talk about this, and you spoke to Chuck, Dave not retiring anytime soon, I think it's also contingent upon what he's going to do. Guys have, not just in college baseball, but guys have caught lightning in a bottle. But it's hard to have success over the course of 10, 15 years, and I don't know how much longer.
Hard.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer Dave's going to be there. There's plenty of coaches across the board that they have a great 2 or 3 year span, and then something happens, blank hits the fan, and it goes haywire real quick. So if we're still talking about Tennessee when small little Lindsey Nelson Stadium having success the next 10 or so years, then yeah, he should be a viable candidate. What I think you're going to have to convince fans of, and I think this is a certain of the Broyles regime, is Arkansas coaches for the most part have done things a certain way in terms of how they conduct themselves. Tony V's not in that category at all. He's brash, he's arrogant, and his players are an inflection of that. So that is what you're going to have to convince fans of that are in the older audience, that I've talked to many that are much closer to y'all's age than mine, because that doesn't bother us as much, but it bothers a lot of older Arkansas fans. You're going to have, and maybe he changes, but you're going to have to convince fans that are older that that's okay unless he changes that course of action, because that is what he's been as a head coach the last couple of years.
Let me say this, and, I hear what you're saying, but Hunter Yurachek or whoever the athletic director is, when it comes time to hire coaches, you better not be worried about whether or not somebody holds a grudge over something somebody said 4 or 5 years ago. That's a stupid reason not to hire somebody. So I don't think that's going to have anything to do. Look, this is a question that I know Razorback fans ask all the time. I understand that. They've asked it from the moment that he left. The truth is they asked it while he was here. And, then they got into a little spat, and all of a sudden he's not the guy anymore. But, time will take care of all this. Here's the thing. There's not an heir apparent, and we always, as fans, want to look for the heir apparent. I think everyone knew from the moment Dave Van Horn took the first Nebraska team to the College World Series, everybody knew what was going to happen. I can tell you internally he was the front runner even before that. Everybody knew what was going to happen when Norm retired. We don't know this time, so that leads to speculation.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Baxter Health. Compassionate care beyond measure.
Let's talk to Brett, who's in Stuttgart this morning. Brett, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, just talking to you guys, getting ready to go to Fayetteville this week, getting ready to go up on the hill this weekend for the big weekend of Razorback sports. That's all I can say.
You and everybody else, man.
Go to the Letterman's reunion fish Friday night. Go to the spring game tomorrow, and go watch a little hog baseball Saturday and Sunday. It's gonna be electric in Baum-Walker Stadium. That is all I can tell you. It's gonna be electric. And y'all were talking about Tony Vitello and his Tennessee, but let me tell you, Tony Vitello, when he went to Tennessee, had to do anything he could to get Tennessee baseball relative again. Whether it was putting on fur coats after you hit a home run or whatever it is. I mean, look at LSU, the most talented team in the country that they've already said we're giving them the national championship. Look at how that team acts. Have you ever watched their third baseman, Tommy Tanks from North Carolina State? Come on, Tommy. I mean, they let their guys do whatever they want to do, and is Chuck there?
Yes, I'm here.
I look at it this way. Coach Van Horn's got a special program. And I believe in the transfer portal and things like that. We probably haven't taken some people in the portal for baseball that other teams have, because their antics that go on at other schools just wouldn't go over with our program. But I believe anytime a head coach, when Dave Van Horn leaves, or I hope it's not anytime soon, there's going to be a lot of baseball coaches lining up on this job. They're going to get the pick of the creme de la creme of baseball, and that's all I have. And I just want y'all's opinion on that.
Well, Brent, appreciate it. I mean, the closing statement you had is exactly right. I mean, Tony Vitello is not going to be the only one that's not only considered, but ultimately wants the job that happens in Fayetteville. I mean, go look at the facilities. I know some of you have gotten a chance to see it on YouTube, some of you in person, the coaches, the players that come to Fayetteville that compete against the Razorbacks. They say glowing things about it. I mean, I know there's really nice stadiums in the Southeastern Conference, but it's really hard to put anything above what Baum-Walker Stadium is in that Hunt Center out in right field.
Well, one of the things, and, again, I'm not going to get too far into this because I don't think we're anywhere close to this happening, but, we're assuming that Tony would want to leave Tennessee. And I can tell you right now, he's the most popular coach on campus. From having been over there for basketball and spent a little time in Knoxville, he's the most popular coach they have, and that includes all of them. He's the toast of the town, let me tell you, and that's hard to leave sometimes. Now, I don't know what it's been like the last 2 or 3 weekends, but I know that generally speaking, he is very, very highly thought of there, and they will try to keep him the same way we try to keep Dave Van Horn when he was young. And look, any coach that's worth his weight, I don't care what the sport is, any coach that's worth its weight is going to be brash when he's young. If he's not, I think you got a problem. Now, and I will tell you this. I mean, Ty, I know you weren't around, but I was around when Dave Van Horn was a young coach. A lot of people thought he was brash too, and he kind of was. Now he's settled in. He's mellowed to a certain extent, although the players at practice probably would tell you something different. But, he's different now. Replays turned them all into just couch potatoes over there in the dugout. They don't even have to run out and argue anymore.
The ejection.
So, and when they do, it's over balls and strikes, and they get thrown out right away. So, but that's part of being a young coach. Again, you brought this up a little bit earlier, and I know he's not as young as Tony, but would you trade Muss for anybody out there? I can tell you from traveling around, there's no coach in the SEC short of Cal who gets booed more than Muss. And he loves it. He plays up to it. And we love that he loves it. And Tennessee loves that Tony is that way. I can tell you privately, Tony's not like that. He's not like that at all. He is not. That is not his private personality. That was part of building his program and getting some attention real fast. And, hey, you got to give him credit. It worked.
You look at Lane Kiffin as an example. The way he behaved at USC versus Tennessee versus Ole Miss versus FAU, he did what needed to be done in each of those situations to get his program attention to build recruiting. His behavior and the way he carried himself has evolved over time. It's just, you look at a lot of walks of life when you're young and you're in your 20s, your 30s, you think you got to prove something to everybody. So you're a little cockier. You walk with your chest out a little more. You're always on edge to prove yourself because you really internally don't have the confidence in those quiet, private moments. But once you've accomplished a few things and you've built a little bit of a resume, you relax a little bit because you got less to prove because you've already proven it.
Well, maybe. That's true, generally speaking. I think one of the things we lose sight of in terms of their program over there is that they're in the same division as Missouri. And he played at Missouri. And Missouri hired somebody other than him to be their baseball coach, which was one of the really stupid moves of all time. But they passed him over. So it's not so much about us. Everybody tends to make it about themselves, and we do too, and I'm not saying that's bad. But I think his motivation over there, and I think there's probably no 3 losses in his head coaching career that stung him more than the 3 to Mizzou earlier this year. If you said, hey, I'll let you get swept by Arkansas, but you can sweep Mizzou, he'd take that trade every year. And I think we lose sight of that fact that, he's in the same division with his alma mater. We make it about us and, Dave and all that stuff, but I think there are other motivating factors there, too, for him. Last week when we spoke about Baxter Health, we talked about their health fair, and I know that it was a huge hit. I know that a lot of people were able to go see everything that Baxter Health had to offer. There were health screenings available. Maybe you know a little bit more about your health than you did before you went. And the thing that I like about Baxter Health is, they take what they have to offer to the people in north central Arkansas. And, we've talked about Dr. Ferguson at the urology clinic there in Harrison. That's just one example of that. He's taking new patients. I think I mentioned that before, but he still is at his office on Sherman Avenue there in Harrison. And, I think you'll see examples all over the spectrum with Baxter Health of how they service their community. I'm glad they had the health fair last week. I'm glad Dr. Ferguson's seeing patients now, and we'll talk more about this as we go along. It is compassionate care beyond measure, and you can log on to baxterhealth.org.
We'll talk about KJ Jefferson for a sec.
I lift weights.
We've seen KJ do some special things here at Arkansas. Just looked it up. He turns 22 next month. May the 20th is when he turns 22. I was looking at this top 10 college football quarterbacks list, and KJ was on the other receiving votes category. I think they had him like 12 or 13. But of those, I think 10 QBs, 6 of them were transfers. KJ is unique in the fact that not only has been through 2 head coaches, but he's been here since 2019. Now, he didn't play much in 2019, Mississippi State game, the LSU game. Then the next year he came in for Felipe Franks. We got injured in Florida. Then he started the last 2 years. But, guys, that is very rare in today's college sports to have a quarterback that's not only stayed in the same spot, but is as old as KJ is, that's been at one place for the duration of their career.
You're right. Hopefully that'll pay dividends this fall. I think that's one of the reasons that Arkansas has a chance to be pretty good offensively, maybe real good. I don't worry about that side of the ball as much as I do the other, and in part is because you have a veteran, you have a veteran quarterback. It's time for KJ to, maybe, make a case for being the best quarterback in the league. He's been around a long time. I think he is he's developed as not just what we see on the field, but in terms of the preparation, his recognition, all the things that go into making a really good quarterback. And he's an older guy, as you say, and so this is his time to shine.
Last year Arkansas had to turn to backup quarterbacks more than once, and Hornsby and Fortin, and I'll be interested to see. Maybe we'll get something that will give us at least point us in the right direction tomorrow. But, sometimes you're only as good as your backup quarterback to get you through a moment, get you through a half, get you through a game. And will Arkansas be better, perhaps with Jacoby Criswell, or is someone else established himself? I'm interested to see Criswell and how he performs in this practice. And, I think that's a question that they want to get answered. Are we better as a football team? I think the coaches want to with Criswell or someone else, and I would think it might be Criswell as your number 2, because we saw Chuck multiple times you had to turn to somebody else at the quarterback spot during the course of the year.
Well, I think they feel like they're better off there. Now, I do think there has to be an understanding that this idea that you're going to put a backup quarterback in and there's not going to be any drop-off, I mean, that's wishful thinking. That's not going to happen. You're going to have some drop-off. I think they'll be better there than they were last year. I'll just put it that way. I think they can do more things at that position in the backup role than they could do last year. They were very limited. As great a player as Malik was, they were limited in a lot of the things that they can do. And I don't think they'll be as limited with Criswell. They feel like that he's had a good spring. Apparently there's been some separation between Criswell and Fortin. So, we'll have to see, obviously. I mean, we're not putting together the first game depth chart this weekend. So a lot of things can happen between now and then. But it sounds like they've been happy with what they've seen from him.
All right, our Fitzman Friday picks coming up are brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. That's my pick right now. I can tell you for a weekend getaway this summer or spring, the fishing has been tremendous. All you got to do is go to Gaston's Facebook page. And, I mean, day after day, there are new pictures with their expert guides with very happy visitors to Gaston's that are catching just fish of a lifetime. And they take good care of the fish there. They always get the trophy browns and rainbows back in the river to make the experience better for you and I the next time we get to go. So book a great weekend upcoming this spring or summer at Gaston's White River Resort. You can call them at 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Local number 474-0006 for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing 474-0006 will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection. 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Arkansas got another basketball commitment out of Cincinnati and Jeremiah Davenport, their fourth of this cycle already. I wouldn't say that that's going to be the last one either. Just keep an eye out on social media and your favorite hitthatline.com favorite website, because there's probably another one or two coming. Now, we still don't know the status of Devontae Davis, what he's going to be ultimately do. But, Tommy, this has been a crazy couple of days for Richard Davenport on the amount of not just football recruiting, but basketball as well.
I would be interested to know behind the scenes. We know when we get the news, but what's the timing with his staff? Do they know a day? Is it hours? Is it days? I mean, because like you said, there's always the solution to the roster issue that evens up the math within minutes sometimes. It's like they've got guys just standing in the on-deck circle ready to join the Razorback basketball teams. I would love a peek behind the curtain on that, and how far is it, a day or two, or how quick does Musselman know, because their response is on point every time.
A lot of good time in there. Arkansas basketball players that have played at the university: Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams in action tonight for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Patrick Beverly's in as well, Moses Moody, and also with Bobby Portis. But Isaiah and Jalen playing the Timberwolves tonight. So if you're fans of those two guys, or the Thunder, which I know we have some Thunder fans listening, they're playing again against the Timberwolves tonight. Plenty of action going on this weekend in Fayetteville. You've got the baseball game 7 o'clock tonight, 6 o'clock tomorrow, 2 o'clock on Saturday. Softball team plays at 6 tonight, 3 tomorrow, and then noon on Sunday. But, of course, the Arkansas spring game is what a lot of people are paying attention to. Tommy, we've got a full day of coverage right here on ESPN Arkansas.
Begins at 10 a.m. as we'll get you ready for the spring game. Chuck, you and Quinn at noon, and then we'll follow up the football broadcast with some reaction following its completion, and then back for baseball tomorrow night. So it all begins tonight, I guess I should say, with baseball, but a full day tomorrow beginning at 10 a.m. ESPN Arkansas stations, hitthatline.com.
It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a fun weekend. People will travel today. People are, there was traffic.
Yeah.
There was traffic in Fayetteville last night that was beyond a normal Thursday. I don't know if it had anything to do with the weekend or not, but I think it might.
Last thing here, Hudson Clark on this game tomorrow, talking about the changes that have been going on, the new faces.
I wouldn't say it's back to square one. I would say there's definitely a lot of new faces, getting to know kind of the defense and kind of trying to hang out outside of football to get to know each other better and be able to play better with each other on the field. I think that's been a big part for us, just kind of like as a secondary, going to eat, trying to get in more meetings. So I think that's going to play into help us out on the field and come the fall.
Definitely not a lot of new faces in the secondary. I know that hurt last season with all the injuries that you had, and you bring in Walcott, you bring in Snacks Johnson, some other guys. People are really excited about the young man from Frisco, Texas. Jalen Braxton, right, Chuck? I get him and Jalen Lewis mixed up.
Yeah, now, everyone you're talking about, there's a corner. They're all corners. And that's why we were talking a little bit earlier about there's a need at safety.
Mm-hmm.
There's a need there, and there's a need at nickel. Now they'll probably end up, I would imagine, in a worst case scenario, you may move one of these corners, one of these good corners, maybe one of the new ones. You may have to move one of them to nickel, if nobody comes on in that spot. But Corner, I think they're fine.
And that is going to do it for your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I know all eyes are going to be what's happening in Fayetteville this weekend, but we've got a huge weekend of SEC baseball, some big-time top 10, top 15 matchups, as we welcome in our friend Sean from the Fence Man this morning. Sean, you seem to be in a really good mood, man. How's your Friday going?
Man, couldn't ask for it to go any better.
Awesome. Well, let's get into it. Our favorite segment of the week. It is a Fence Man Friday.
Fence Man Friday Picks. Call the Fence Man for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. We ain't afraid of no work.
I got a bone to pick.
What is it?
I got a bone to pick.
Okay.
All week long, Ty, I've been waiting for you to say, Chuck picked John Rahm last week to win the Masters. I was expecting it Monday morning. You've been derelict in your duty this week, and I feel a little bit disrespected because I didn't just say John Rahm's my pick. I said John Rahm will win the Masters. That's exactly what happened, and there's been no credit this week.
You were definitive.
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember.
You don't even remember. You don't even because you're always thinking about you. You don't even remember.
I'm just, you know me, man. I'm selfish and always thinking about what I apologize, Chuck. Again, I did not follow through.
As you should. I didn't mean to steal the show here, but I've been waiting on that all week.
Did he pick Rahm, Tommy?
He didn't just pick Rahm. He said Rahm will win the tournament.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was pretty
I didn't
definitive.
say
Well-
John. I'm going with John Rahm. I said John Rahm will win the Masters.
Okay, well,
That's exactly what happened.
Tommy, the question that's to follow that, did Chuck bet on it? It's one thing to say it. Did you put your money, Chuck?
I don't need
did
to
you put?
bet.
Oh,
Hey, these are my winnings right now, and this is better than money.
you could have made thousands, but whatever.
All right, let's get to our picks for this weekend.
All right, South Carolina at Vanderbilt. Who wins this series, Tommy? The Gamecocks or the Doors?
Well, both have been hot lately. I'm going to go with the Doors, and I'm just simply taking home field edge.
I'll take Vandy as well. This is a premier matchup in the country, not just the SEC. I'm going to go Vandy, Chuck.
Low-hanging fruit, Vandy easy.
I'm behind in points, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna go Apo Taco, man.
That's a smart play.
South Carolina.
I'm gonna try to win some points here.
Another quality game this series this weekend. The Kentucky Wildcats traveling down to Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers. Big weekend for LSU, trying to catch back up against Arkansas in the SEC West. Tommy, are they able to do it this weekend? Do they win this series?
No, I think it'll be LSU. I don't think Kentucky will get swept, though, but LSU wins the series.
I've got LSU winning it as well, Chuck.
Well, LSU won last night in Game 1, so they're the odds-on favorite. Yeah, I think LSU wins that series. I think they'll sweep them.
The series that we've all been looking forward to all offseason, all season. Tennessee finally in town to take on your Arkansas Razorbacks. Again, first pitch, 7 o'clock tonight. Couldn't ask for better weather. Tommy, does Arkansas win one game, 2 games, or all 3? Hopefully they don't get swept.
Well, I'll be in the park tonight with you to watch Arkansas win Game 1. And then I'm going to leave it up to you for Game 2 and 3 for Arkansas to win those 2. Arkansas not only wins, Arkansas sweeps the series.
I think they win. I think Tony V has his guys motivated for tonight, so I've got them winning 2 of 3. Sean?
Well, you didn't let me pick the last round, so I guess.
Did he gloss over you?
He went
He's
low me
thinking
like
about
a
it?
racetrack,
LSU.
man. Zoom! Right by me. I was like, I don't even exist anymore. I'm hurt.
Who do you want for Kentucky at LSU? Sorry about that.
I'm going to go with you guys, LSU.
LSU?
Thank you
Okay.
for coming back and catching me.
Sorry about that.
But, yeah, I think
It's his segment.
I'm telling you it is, isn't it?
It's his segment.
What'd you say, derelict in duty? I think
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, he's sorry we're all picking on you this morning.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
I'm with you guys. Arkansas is going to win 2, win the series, but not sweep.
Okay. All right, we'll stick on that. Chuck, this was a top 25 matchup that was anticipated. It's anything but that. Ole Miss going to Duty Noble to take on the Bulldogs this weekend. Who wins?
I'll go with the Bulldogs.
I would have thought, Tommy, I would have bet anything that one of those teams would have been top 25, the back-to-back national champions. But yet, while it's still a rivalry game, the Egg Bowl, baseball of sorts, not a top 25 matchup.
All right, those are.
But there's a long way to go.
Yeah,
there's a long way to go. It's
lot
not
of
right now, but I'll bet one of those teams is in the NCAA tournament.
I bet you're right about that. That's our Fence Man Friday picks, brought to you by our good buddy at the Fence Man, who needs people to help build more fences. You need people on the team right now.
Oh, we really do. We've had our sales staff and are just doing a great job. They're selling fences. I've got to have some quality installers to be able to put the fence in. Our timeline's a little too long for me. We're doing the best we can. My guys are working really hard to keep up with the schedule. But, man, if you're looking to build fences, want to come on board with us, we're a great company. I got a great group of people. Please come see us.
782-3936 is the number. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right, big weekend ahead for SEC baseball. We'll come back to football, though, in hour 3. Hunter Yurchek joins us next.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's the spring sale event at WT Equipment. Save up to $350 on Hustler Turf Raptor Series mowers and up to $750 on select Toro Zero Turn mowers. WT Equipment is one of the largest Hustler dealers in the country with a huge selection in stock. Buy what the pros buy, where the pros buy. Save big or get 0% for 48 months on participating equipment with approved credit. Whether you are upgrading your fleet or looking for the best cut on the cul-de-sac, don't miss the spring sale event at WT Equipment. For more information, visit your local WT dealer or online at WTpromos.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
What's the room again?
1080, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, don't touch that. It's gross.
Here we are. Got the key?
You have them.
Oh, great. It's not working.
Try flipping it over.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Okay.
Why can't we go inside?
Bring it over.
I'm tired. Oh my
that.
gosh.
Give me yours.
Really? You have mine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
I'm tired. Oh my
Just try
gosh.
to.
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Breeden RV, Highway 64 between Alma and Van Buren.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will climb in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, and overnight low will drop down into the low 60s. We will start to see an increase in the cloud cover on Saturday. Chance of seeing some showers and storms. Our high temperatures, low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Put down the bug spray and pick up the phone before you head outside this summer. Call Mosquito Joe to keep your yard mosquito-free. Call 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
The city of Fayetteville is pretty cool. It's way better than Columbia, Missouri, where I was at prior. I really enjoy being here. The atmosphere, everyone is very loving. Everyone is very respectful as well.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
I know this is a weekend that took a lot of planning for the Arkansas staff, the Arkansas Athletics Department. I'm really excited to get the insight on that from your athletics director, Hunter Yurchek, who joins us coming up in just a couple minutes. You heard Trajan Jeffcoat there talking about the differences between Columbia, Missouri, Fayetteville, Arkansas. I know he's ready to suit up, as are the rest of the players. And, guys, it's just nice to be able to hit someone a little harder tomorrow. I know they've thud to a certain extent to a certain point, but getting a little more action, seeing fans watching you tomorrow as well.
It's a fastball and football Friday weekend coming up here on the Morning Rush. It's brought to you by QC Kinetics. You've got joint pain that's derailing your plans for spring or summer because that arthritis or that pain in your knee, your back, your shoulder, your hips, wherever it's hurting is keeping you from doing the things you love. Call my friends at QC Kinetics. They have hundreds of clinics across America and thousands of satisfied patients, and I am one of them, and I can tell you that joint pain can go away without surgery, without drugs, and with no downtime with QC Kinetics. Call for a free consultation. They have appointments available for next week. You got nothing to lose. 479-999-1234 is the local number. They're right here in Northwest Arkansas. 999-1234. That's QC Kinetics.
Tommy, I know that you've probably been hit up for tickets constantly. Chuck, you're probably in that same boat. We don't have any tickets. I mean, they're all gone. I know I got hit up this week as well. I think everyone that has season tickets is either going or selling and are going to be able to sell their tickets starting tonight at 7 o'clock.
It's also the weekend. You try to take care of your family and your good friends and your best clients. And I know, we use this weekend as kind of a way to show your appreciation and, show some love this weekend. Man, you get offered Tennessee tickets this weekend, Chuck. That's a big deal. That's like getting Alabama tickets or something during football or Kentucky tickets in basketball.
Well, we wonder sometimes when, people buy season tickets, which games will everybody come to? And this is one of the weekends where everybody that's got tickets will either come or getting rid of them is not a problem. I've always been one who's, I think it's fun to give people tickets to big games. Just give them to them. And I know some people do that, and some people sell them. And, but it'll be full. It'll be full 3 times this weekend, and it'll be fun.
When you have fans lining up more than 24 hours prior to first pitch, you know it's going to be a crazy weekend. I've camped out for football, gotten close, been there bright and early for basketball, but baseball never necessarily did that. But this just shows the dedication of this fan base for a series like this, and I think it's going to deliver this week. I think it's going to be well worth the price of admission.
Food is better when you line up for baseball because everybody's ready to go in and cook and grill. Food is better when you line up for this one, and the weather's better. And there's some in basketball games you line up for. You may freeze your butt off.
Yeah, it's cold. Those Kentucky games back in the day where you'd sit outside at the crack of dawn and get there, but it'd be worth it because it was the Wildcats coming into town. It's that type of thing as well.
So should be a fun weekend. So football broadcast going to start at noon tomorrow, Chuck. About 12:20 before they get going.
Yeah, they're going to stretch for a little bit, and then they'll do some special teams work, and they'll see. I think we'll see. In fact, I know we'll see some periods of, what they call good on good, ones on ones. You'll see some twos on twos, and you'll see some guys. One of the things that they do, and I like this, is you're going to see some guys. Like for example, you may see Rocket Sanders running with the threes. Well, that doesn't mean Rocket Sanders is going to be the number 3 running back. But, you're going to see some moving around in terms of the parts. And I think that, that'll be you don't want to read too much into that, I think, when you watch it. But they're going to mix and match some. And you'll see some guys running with the 2s and the 3s who may be running with the 1s by the time we get to the fall. But you'll also see them run with the 1s, too. So there'll be something for everybody.
I think as a kid, one of my favorite things for getting to do something like this, because I got to go to a couple spring games as a child, was getting to high-five the players and get autographs and stuff after the game. For the fans that can't necessarily afford season tickets or the ones that don't get to go to every game, this is, a perfect free opportunity for your youngins to get that connection that develops early on. And I think everyone remembers their first game. I sure remember my first early-on games with spring games like this.
There was a time when they would play a spring game in Fayetteville, play a spring game in Little Rock. They'd play 2 of them.
Oh, wow.
That's changed over the years, obviously, not just here but everywhere else. But, yeah, I mean, it's I think to make it work, it's got to be an event. I mean, you've got to have a weekend where there's a lot of stuff going on. The idea that you can get people to flock to your town. Alabama and Georgia have a real spring game tradition, and that's important. But I think that something like this, I think this would continue to work. I think you could do it every year, and I think people would flock to Fayetteville.
Well, Hunter Yurchek is phoned in this morning, the athletics director at the University of Arkansas. Hunter, I know you've got a busy weekend ahead, so I appreciate you making some time for us. I want you to take us back to how this idea initially got started, the Woo Pig Weekend. You've got baseball, you've got softball, you've got football. What went into all of this as an athletics department?
Well, I guess you could say it's a fortunate schedule. First of all, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. But I would say fortunate scheduling where we already had baseball and softball, tennis on the schedule, and then Coach Pittman has the spring schedule lined up. The spring football game fell on this weekend, just kind of a natural to have this Woo Pig weekend with a big baseball series. We've got a non-conference softball series. We have 2 men's tennis matches. We've got a spring volleyball match tonight, and, of course, tomorrow's spring football game.
And I'm sure you talk to fans on a daily basis, the ones that not only live in state but out of state. Do you get a sense that this is a homecoming of sorts in the spring? Have you gotten that sense from fans, Hunter?
For sure. I mean, we have our A-Club events all weekend. There's the Alumni Association is having a Black Alumni Association weekend as well, and all the events are surrounding that. So very much with all the events that are already scheduled athletically on campus, many entities within the athletic program, outside the athletic program, but within the university, plan corresponding events for this weekend as well.
You mentioned
Hunter, this is Chuck. You said something there about Letterman, and I want to come back to that. That's one of the things that kind of gets lost in this. And you talked about I know the Letterman are having some stuff going on tonight. This is an opportunity to reconnect with some of your former players, and I know Coach Pittman's talked a lot about that. I just wonder how that fits into all this weekend too.
Yeah, absolutely. The history of our Razorback athletic program is very important to us. Coach Pittman has recognized the history of our football program. He has welcomed our former players back to spring practices and for this weekend for a golf tournament today, a little event tonight, coming out to the spring game tomorrow, a barbecue following the spring game, engagement with himself and some of our players. And, we've got such a rich history of athletic success. We want to continue to embrace that rich history and the student athletes that laid that foundation for where we are today.
You've been a very hands-on athletic director. You at a lot of practices. We see you visibly in a lot of games. Have you watched much practice this year? And what is it about being kind of inside the gates and having that front row seat as the AD that why is that so enjoyable for you?
Well, I would say going to practices, going to games for me is the icing on the cake. It's an opportunity for me to see our student athletes doing what they love, working on their craft, spending some time with them, especially during spring practice. It's fun to go out. The guys are a little bit more relaxed when they're on the sidelines, not necessarily engaged in what's going on in the field. I have an opportunity to interact with them, and so that's the fun part of it. Just it helps me build relationships with student athletes and helps them understand how much I support them, not just football, basketball, baseball, but I enjoy going out to softball, tennis, golf, even make my way out occasionally to the cross-country track if we've got a cross-country track place if we've got a meet out there. But it's been fun. I've gotten to go to a few football practices this spring. Really love the energy. Obviously, we had some staff transition during the off season, lost some great coaches, and I think we've replaced them with great coaches as well. And I just love the energy and just the vibe around spring practice this year. I think we have an opportunity in the fall, if we can stay healthy, to be what I will call sneaky good.
Hunter, I wonder about, you were talking about Coach Pittman and the new coaches there and the new faces, and we see this in other sports too. We're watching Muss right now kind of reassemble his basketball team. You've obviously got intimate knowledge of the plan, and I just wonder as an administrator, when you watch that plan unfold, when you know what Muss's vision is for what his basketball team is going to look like. You knew what Coach Pittman wanted to do with his football program the minute they got back from Missouri last year. And I just wonder as an AD, as you watch this unfold, does that have a lot to do with maybe your opinion of a coach or the health of a program or, whether or not everything's headed in the right direction?
Well, Chuck, absolutely. I'll start with Coach Pittman and the staff vacancies we had and the number of people he had a plan, but the number of people within that plan and outside of that plan that reached out to him that wanted to be a part of his football program. And I think you're seeing that each spring play out with Coach Musselman and the number of transfer student athletes that after they meet with Coach Musselman, meet with our staff, get to see our facilities and our campus and our community that want to be a part of the Razorback men's basketball program. So I think it's very exciting to see that outside of Northwest Arkansas, outside of our campus, how many people are noticing the special things that are happening within the athletic program, within our university, and within this Northwest Arkansas community and want to be a part of it.
Hunter Yurchek with us, Director of Athletics at the University of Arkansas. Now, Hunter, I know that we've spoken pretty obviously about football, baseball, and softball. You mentioned some of the other sports that are going on campus this weekend, but you did mention golf. Is that going to get included in your itinerary? What's your handicap? Are you going to be able to squeeze that in this weekend?
There will be no golf played by Hunter Yurchek this weekend. The women are at the SEC Championships currently. The men will leave next week. There is that A-Club golf tournament. My son's coming back to play in that, but I will not be partaking in that. And it's probably a good thing. I'm not sure when the last time I picked up a club, my golf game wasn't very sharp. The last time I did, it's surely not going to be very sharp today.
I got a lot of handicaps of mine. They're in my bag, the driver, the putter, the wedge, but that's another conversation.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
Yeah. Hey, we got a lot of people listening and that are supporters of the program financially and buy tickets and are members of the Razorback Foundation. I want to ask you a question there because there's a transition in leadership that's coming, that's underway right now with the foundation. And what can fans expect? What might be different as some changes are happening as Scott Verity transitions to another role with the university? He's been on campus for a long time. What might be different moving forward with the foundation and the fan interaction, the season ticket holder interaction down the road?
Well, I can't tell you what might be different, but I will tell you that the transition will go smoothly. Scott has done an incredible job kind of reinventing what the Razorback Foundation is. And obviously they work with their annual fund that supports our scholarships, but also have gotten engaged in major gift fundraising for capital projects. The One Arkansas NIL that's now under the Razorback Foundation. So what the Razorback Foundation was and what it is today has evolved under Scott Verity, and kudos to him and the team he's put together. Billy Vito is going to step in on an interim basis, and I don't think our fans will see any different. She will do a great job in that, and then the board and I will work together on a national search that will include some internal candidates that are very qualified. But we're going to cast our net wide. And what I said earlier, because of the success of our athletic program, I think we will get great interest in who wants to be the next executive director of the Razorback Foundation. And, we're on the horizon of a major capital campaign to help us do a major renovation to Bud Walton Arena, as well as additions at our soccer and softball stadium. So it's a very important time to make sure that we hire the right person to come in and be the next leader of that Razorback Foundation entity.
I'm glad you brought up Bud Walton because I wanted to make sure we asked you about that because that's on a lot of fans' minds and a lot of people got opinions and thoughts. So can you give us some insight to maybe what's your vision of a renovated Bud Walton Arena?
Well, first, just where we are in the process is that we just closed the applications for architects and general contractors, and we will interview those constituencies the first week of May and hopefully have a decision that we'll take forward to the board with recommendations for an architect and a general contractor sometime this summer. But, the vision, as I share with the board, is we have roughly $40 to $45 million just in general deferred maintenance that we need to do to that facility, but also a 30-year-old facility. It served us well, but right now it lacks the premium amenities that we need with some club seating, renovated suites, some courtside club areas, as well as just some new seats and things of that nature to get kind of freshen it up and better enhance our fan experience. And so we just need to really freshen up Bud Walton Arena and also to provide us with some new revenue streams through some additional premium seatings that aren't available in that facility right now.
As you've traveled around postseason, some of the NBA venues, where are you gathering ideas that you'd like to maybe make happen at Bud Walton?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got to go to a great facility out in Las Vegas, and that facility is built in the last decade. It's got great premium amenities. They've got somewhat I would call our bunker suites that are kind of burrowed in under your seats on one side, and then they have kind of their own concourse that goes out to some club seats. It's a very neat concept that has become very popular in professional arenas and newer collegiate venues as well. And so that's a concept that we saw last year out in San Francisco at Golden State's Arena, and we also saw in Las Vegas. And you talk to the end users there, and they love that amenity, and I think it's an amenity that we'd like to bring to Bud Walton as well.
Hunter, you brought up the different changes that are going on, and I could be wrong on this, so forgive my ignorance, but the potential changes would come from removal of seating, if I'm understanding that correctly. How do you navigate kind of changing things up? And because I would guess there would be some pushback. How do you go about doing that by possibly removing seats in Bud Walton Arena for club seating and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, we have an incredible fan base, and we have sold out Bud Walton Arena for the last two seasons on season tickets, and we're close to selling out. Our football stadium is sold out, Baum Walker. But one of the things that we have found in Bud Walton is why we have sold that out on season tickets is the game-by-game yield, meaning the number of tickets that are used on a game-by-game basis falls far below the 19,000 seats or so that we have in that venue. So we feel like that we can decrease the seats by a minimal level and really not exclude the fans that are going to actually be in attendance at the majority of our games, just not the Kentucky game or the Tennessee game, etc. And so we think we have some wiggle room with the seating. But, the one thing we want to make sure that we get right is that remains an incredible home court advantage for our men's and women's basketball teams, as well as our gymnastics team, which we foresee transition into a renovated Bud Walton Arena as well.
I'm sure it does your heart good as an athletics director driving into work early Thursday morning and Friday and seeing fans already line outside of Baum Walker Stadium getting ready for a series that begins on Friday. I remember you walking off the field at Chapel Hill after that Brady Slavens hit last year and just talking with Dave. You guys have a good relationship. He hasn't alerted you that he's retiring anytime soon. I mean, I think a lot of Arkansas fans like where the program's at right now.
I think Dave's got a lot of energy and a lot of passion for coaching the sport of baseball and being the skipper at the University of Arkansas for a baseball program. In the last year or two, he signed a new contract that virtually was a 10-year contract. It's a 5-year contract with 5 rollover years, and then he foresees himself coaching another 8 to 10 years as long as his energy level stays brisk. So I don't foresee Dave Van Horn going anywhere. And it's a pretty unique situation when you think about that between Norm DeBryan and Dave Van Horn, we've only had 2 baseball coaches for the better part of a half a century here at the University of Arkansas.
Well, Hunter, I know you got a lot of events to get to today, tomorrow, and Sunday, so we'll let you go. We appreciate you making some time for us here on the Morning Rush, and enjoy a Woo Pig weekend.
All right, Tommy, Ty, Chuck, thank you guys for your support, and go Hogs.
All right, Hunter, you're a check with us. We'll react to that. We're brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative care to make your joints quit hurting with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. They have appointments available next week, 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234. Chuck, we touched on a lot of things there with the boss, and Hunter, you're a check.
A lot of things going on. That's that's a job with a lot of moving parts. We focus on certain things, and generally that's just a small part of the pie for them. And the one thing that I have come to appreciate over the years is that these events don't just occur by themselves. You don't just say, "Hey, we're going to play a game. Y'all come." Doesn't work like that. It's there's a lot that goes into this, and I have a lot of appreciation for that. There's going to be a lot of people working a football game tomorrow and a basketball game and a softball game in between, and so I know it'll be fun for everyone, but a lot of it's due in part to the work they put in.
We're going to the game tonight, and Ty, one of the things we got on the agenda is the stop at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. Chuck, you need to come have a burger with us tonight before the game. It's Ty, it's
I might
the best.
not get out of there, man. I might just stay and keep eating.
That's all right.
There.
I alerted Keith about that earlier this week. We're really excited. I know our staff's excited to get up there. Some of our staff hasn't had it just yet, so they will, for the first time, have a CJ's Butcher Boy burger. I know Phil was talking either grilled onions or grilled mushrooms tonight. He's going to get a chance to have some CJ's this weekend. If you haven't been, Weddington location in Fayetteville, Arkansas Avenue location in Russellville. CJ's Butcher Boy burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. And let me tell you, they are at CJ's.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke mile service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I can remember when I do midweek games and you'd fill out the lineup card, you always wrote a little smaller for the midweek games because you knew you were going to need some more space as the game went on.
But Hunter Yurchek did a really good job in unpacking things and a bunch of different things there. And we're going to get into more of that coming up in just a bit. Hear Chuck's thoughts, hear more Tommy's thoughts. Again, Hunter Yurchek with us. If you missed that conversation, you'll find it in our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast coming up.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm like you guys. I think packed ballpark all 3 nights. I don't think this weather is going to be the issue that maybe we fear. I was watching closely the weather forecast for yesterday, and if this thing doesn't stall out, everything should move through and not affect much this weekend.
It's less than an inch of rain that I saw on the radar, which is good. So hopefully, you're saying,
it's all about the timing of it. Mm-hmm. I know what? It's going to be a big weekend at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and in Springdale. We're rolling with Rath. Larry, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hope you're having a good one. Tommy, you're always teasing me about that carbine weather.
Yeah.
This is it.
It has
man.
been.
Oh, this is some carbine weather, and actually anything to do with your car, folks. If you're looking to sell a car, we're a Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offers buying center. It's so easy to sell us your car. We were doing that long before it was cool, buying a lot of cars from customers, and we know how to do that and make sure that it's fair and that you get paid promptly and your paperwork's all done correctly. We'd love to buy your car from you. We'd like even better to sell you something this weekend. We got a great selection. Rath road-ready used cars at both locations. Folks, you can't buy a better used car. We're hand-picking these things. We're running them through our Meineke Car Care Center for a full inspection. We fix anything we find wrong. We do the maintenance. You just can't buy a better used car. You want to look for that Rath road-ready badge on your next used car, available at Rath Auto Resource in Fort Smith or Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. The Springdale store, guys, it's on fire. That new product, the 23 Outlander, if you hadn't seen it, come in and check it out. We've even got the new Outlander PHEVs in stock. That car's been getting all the press. It really is the right car at the right time. So we got some good inventory up there and a lot of fun things going on, folks. We'd love to see you this weekend. You two could be rolling with Rath.
All right, that's all at Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
Chuck, I thought you asked a good question about the lettermen. Returning players, and I'm not talking about returning players on this roster, but guys that have been doing. I heard Matt was talking about this with me off air a little bit this week. This is a big deal for a lot of former players, and the emphasis on that. It's a cool event for them this weekend in addition to what's going on with just the spring game on Saturday.
Means a lot to them. And not just here, but, you look, I noticed when UConn won the national championship in basketball, all the former players that were in the stands that night. When the Razorbacks play, every time we play, pick your sport. There are players who once wore that uniform who are in the stands watching, and a lot of them have written checks to try to keep it going because they know what a big part of their lives it was. And yeah, man, that's really important, and it's important to those guys, and they still enjoy being loved and being recognized, and they gave a lot to all of us over the years, a lot of great moments. And I think it's important to have them back, and it's important to make them feel special because everybody here is on their backs right now.
Yeah. And usually, just talking to former players that go to this every year, that the coaching staff usually attends, and they normally talk and give them some insight about what's going on. So it's usually a lot of fun for those guys to get to mingle with the current staff and usually hear from Coach Pittman or the head coach and some of the other coaches about what they're seeing with the team.
One of the funniest things to me is when you'll see these former players come back, 40, 50 years old, successful, guys who have been leaders. Some of them are CEOs. But when the head football coach walks in, between the ears, they're 19 years old again. It's yes, sir. It's no, sir. That's the head football coach.
Yeah.
And there's a level of respect there, I don't care how old you are, that you always maintain. But it is always fun for me to watch successful grown men revert back into young men when they're in the presence of the head coach. It is one of the real phenomenons that I've really enjoyed watching over the years. And let me tell you, when Sam Pittman walks in that room, all those 40, 50, 60-year-old guys, he's not going to have to say, all eyes on me.
No.
They're going to be on it because they still respect the head coach, and I think that's great.
It's kind of like E.F. Hutton. When he speaks, people listen. Yeah. One of them deals. So that's an old advertising tagline that I'll have to. We'll Google it later.
That went over my head.
Yeah.
Now, Chuck, I asked Hunter about his tee time. Doesn't look like he's having. What time? Who are you teeing off with later on tonight?
I'm not playing today. I played in this before. I will say this, that you don't have to worry about your head coach or your AD spending too much time on the golf course. I'll just put it that way. If you got an AD that's really good in golf, Coach Broyles was the exception. But a lot of times, boy, if you got a coach or an AD that's really good in golf, you lose a ball game, first thing somebody's going to say is, man, they're spending too much time on the golf course. You don't have to worry about that with these guys.
I know.
I don't think Dave plays golf. In fact, I know he doesn't. I don't think Muss plays golf.
Yeah, Muss doesn't.
I mean, these guys will go out there. They'll trot him out there every once in a while at one of these foundation things, but they always put him with the best player in the tournament because the head coach is never really any good.
We saw Pittman play, was it Shadow Valley, Tommy? When were we that one foundation that we went to?
Yeah, up there in Rogers at Lost Creek.
Yeah. Okay.
Petrino was a good golfer. Yeah. Bobby Petrino was a good golfer. Houston was terrible. Bielema was worse. I don't know that. Now, I played with Chad one time. He's not very much either. Yeah, so Petrino's probably the best golfer we've had among the
Willie Robinson's golf bag made out of footballs was the best I've ever
that's
seen.
Cool.
Hey, the funny part was the guys on that staff, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. Nobody wanted to see their phone ring on Sunday morning because Petrino would want somebody to play golf with, and none of the guys wanted to go. And so it was like, well, when the head coach says you're going to play golf, I guess you're going to play golf.
Hey, how's your business's website looking? If it's time for a new website, for a new look, new appeal, call my friends Jordan and Jill and the crew at Matchstick Studios, 479-755-3043. No upfront cost. Everything you need to make your website work for $95 a month. It's as simple as that, $95 a month. Go to modularorange.com, get more details and see examples, or call 755-3043.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, and online at harryrobinson.com.
That's 782-8940. That's the only number you need to know for all of your heating and air, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs. That's 782-8940, the only number you need to know.
It's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. To have a red truck rolling your way today for great American-made York products, give us a call at 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Some good SEC baseball this weekend. Of course, Baum Walker Stadium is the perennial baseball park in the country. But when you look at some other places like Alex Box and then also at Hawkins Field in Nashville, the Vanderbilt Commodores are hosting the South Carolina Gamecocks. You also got LSU hosting Kentucky. That's a top 15 matchup. So there's some good ones. Missouri's going to College Station. Ole Miss is going to Mississippi State, the baseball Egg Bowl, if that's a thing. Florida's going to Georgia. Auburn's going to Alabama. So there's some good games this weekend. A couple rivalries, too, Tommy. I know that Arkansas, Tennessee is more recent, but you got some good old-fashioned ones mixed in as well.
Well, when you looked at the schedule and Tennessee got added to the schedule, you thought this is the premier, without question, highlight of the weekend for SEC baseball. It'll be the biggest series. This is where the conference will focus, and it's probably number 2 this weekend. You can make a case it's number 3, depending on how you feel about LSU, Kentucky. But, don't kid yourself. It'll have a big bearing. And listen, Tennessee's trying to catch up to those guys playing in Nashville. Somebody's going to lose 2 of those 3, and Tennessee's got a chance. That's what I'm sure they're talking about. Hey, if we can come in here and win 2 against the Razorbacks, we're going to gain ground on somebody that's going to come up on the wrong end in Nashville.
Arkansas spring game is the first one on the docket tomorrow, and then you'll have a bunch of the rest that way. And there's 2 more next weekend as well, and that will conclude the spring games for SEC-wise. The portal opens up tomorrow for football, so keep an eye on that. Arkansas, again, got, I think his last name's Booker, first name's Tank, the defensive tackle transfer, 6'4", out of Maryland. I know people are excited about that. But just keep an eye on that because it's going to be hot. I would, not just for Arkansas, but you're going to see a lot of names, again, hit the portal, pop up, not just in the Southeastern Conference, but all over the place. That is your SEC update this morning.
It's always brought to you on Fridays by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They harness the power. You study science and you study biology, and you just think about this. When you cut your finger or something happens, your body has the properties to heal itself, right? So it's no different than when you have joint pain and hip pain and knee pain. When treated properly with the properties from your own body, you can heal yourself. You just need some help with regenerative medicine from QC Kinetics. Everything they use comes from you, and that's how they heal your body with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. They helped me with my shoulder, and that's why I want to tell you about it, because I know there's someone out there listening right now suffering with that pain, and their doctor said, we got to cut on you. We got to do surgery. Well, there's a better way. So before you do that, call my friends at QC Kinetics right here in Northwest Arkansas. They can see you as early as next week. 479-999-1234. That's their number, 999-1234 for QC Kinetics. Well, it's a big weekend. We're down to the last couple of weekends at Oaklawn as the Kentucky Derby will be here soon, and Lane Whitman joins us now to break down another big weekend of racing. A lot of Arkansas-bred horses coming up this weekend, Lane, I know, and it's Apple Blossom Day. It's Apple Blossom weekend at Oaklawn. Good morning.
Good morning, Tommy. And yes, we have 12 days left of the live racing meet. Closing day is Kentucky Derby Day as well. It's May 6th. And we head into this racing weekend on Saturday with two big stakes races. The 9th race tomorrow will be the Count Fleet Sprint Handicap, a Grade 3 race for 6 furlong sprinters, $500,000 on the line. We have a field of 10 led by the 5-2 favorite, Tejano Twist. Top challengers include number 2 Skelly, number 10 Strobe, and number 7 Surveillance. And then the highlight of the day, as you mentioned, the Grade 1, one of only 2 Grade 1 races at Oaklawn during the meet, the other being the Arkansas Derby, $1 million on the line with the Apple Blossom. I think Oaklawn may be a little bit disappointed. There's only a field of 4 in this race, but we have 2 standouts in this race to go along with some of the standouts from yesteryear in this Apple Blossom. The Hall of Famers, Bayakoa, Passiana, Azeri, Zenyatta. The last 2 years, Latruska, a future Hall of Famer, have ran this race. And this year we have Secret Oath versus Clairiere. It should be a great matchup. Secret Oath got the best of Clairiere in their last matchup. I thought Clairiere in that race got kind of a poor ride from Joel Rosario. That's not going to happen again in a 4-horse field, so they're not going to run into any traffic problems or anything. I think a horse named Hot and Sultry is going to have the lead early in this race, and then we'll get passed up by Secret Oath, and we'll see if Clairiere, the horse that comes from behind, can run down Secret Oath in the stretch. It should be a good battle down the lane.
If there's ever a guy that could lose money on a trifecta in a 4-horse field, I'm the guy. I could figure out a way in a 4-horse field to still miss and still lose on even a superfecta. I probably couldn't get that right. Hey, one of the other interesting things as we come down the stretch, you mentioned 12 days left. These jockeys and trainers, it's a point of pride to be the leading jockey and the leading trainer for the meet, and I know we're coming down the stretch on that.
Yeah, Christian Torres, who way back in December I mentioned was a jockey to watch this year. I had no idea that at this point in the meet that he was going to be leading the standings with 80 wins. Francisco Arrieta second with 73. Ricardo Santana way back in third place with 48 wins. So it's going to come down to Torres against Arrieta. Obviously, Torres has a big leg up with a 7-win lead with only 12 days left. As far as the trainer standings, we said all along that Steve Asmussen was going to make a push to get up to the top of the standings, as he always does, but it looks like it's going to be tough to run down Robertino Diodoro. Diodoro has 51 wins at the meet, Asmussen at 39, Chris Hartman at 34. Fourth place is Brad Cox, only 20 wins, but, you say, who is the leading trainer? It is, by wins, it's Diodoro. By money earned, it's Brad Cox at $3.2 million from those 20 wins.
All right, so going to be a big one there. All right, you always give us a Friday pick, and it's cashed a lot of times this year, so if you're listening out there right now, pay attention. All right, give it to us, Lane. What's the best pick today, the best bet on a Friday?
Okay, I'm heading over there here in about 2 hours, so I really hope this one hits today. We're going to the 7th race, horse number 5, Vegas Blue. A little shorter than what I usually like to give out on here. It's 5-2 on the morning line, but Steve Asmussen trains. His son, Keith Asmussen, is going to ride this 5-year-old mare today. He's had a good meet so far at Oaklawn. She's had 1 win and 1 place from 2 starts. This is her 3rd start off the layoff. You've heard me say it on here all meet, that's often the horse's best race. The main competition today is going to come from horse number 7, Bayshore Foxes. They have a similar running style, both these 2 horses. Both run near the lead. I look for number 5, Vegas Blues, to pull away from Bayshore Foxes in the stretch and get us the win at 5-2, maybe at 2-1. Either way, a $6 or $7 winner I look to get out of Vegas Blue in the 7th race today.
All right, so the 5th horse, 7th race, that's where you need to be today, according to Lang and his picks. And you can get those picks at the Railbird 333, Facebook, Twitter. Just look him up, and you can subscribe and find him there. Lang, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you a few more Fridays. I guess we got, after this week, 3 more weekends, and the 3rd one being the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, we'll be ready to roll in that Kentucky Derby. One more little prep race this weekend at Keeneland, and the field will kind of start coming into shape, and I'll start doing some homework for everybody.
All right, there we go. Lang Whitman with us here on the Morning Rush. Our update is always brought to you by Brothers Roofing. We were talking about that A Club and Letterman. That's where Brother was normally at every spring game, is at that A Club with all his fellow former Razorbacks. And he's been in the roofing business pretty much since he quit playing football. He's got over a quarter century of experience. I like to say it that way because it makes Brother feel old. But what he's got is veteran experience in dealing with roofs. He's been an insurance adjuster, and he's been in the roofing business for a while. So Brother understands how to maximize your insurance benefits, and that's really important. He's got great crews in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley to make sure all the work is done right. And he goes beyond that. When the work is over, Brother himself comes out, makes sure everything's up to his standard and his liking before the job is complete. That's Brothers Roofing, 479-353-3877, 353-3877 for Brothers Roofing. We were mentioning Oaklawn there and talking about that with Lang, that all the big races this weekend. If you don't have the Oaklawn Anywhere app, I want to give you one more tip before we go. If you sign up and you download that, and maybe it's the Kentucky Derby you like to play. If you don't have the Oaklawn Anywhere app, use promo code RUSH23 when you sign up. Ty can earn up to $150 sign-up bonus. So you don't want to miss out on that this weekend or before the Kentucky Derby gets here. That's promo code RUSH23, and you can get up to a $150 sign-up bonus and have some fun this weekend with all the big stakes races going on at Oaklawn.
Let's recap our Fastball Friday this morning. We asked the question, Tony Vitello, what do you think in the coming years? When Dave Van Horn eventually decides to hang it up, are you okay if Dave Van Horn gives his okay? He's your next baseball coach. Seems like from a lot of the feedback we got, some people, they want to see what happens with him in Tennessee the next few years. Others are okay with it. Others are not. Now, your opinion will probably change by the time DVH retires on Tony Vitello and how he's been as a head coach. But I know there's definitely some strong opinions about that this morning.
Well, sure. And, when he's not your guy, he's not your guy. But when he becomes your guy, it all changes. So, listen, he's a top recruiter in the country. I mean, Hunter Yurchek was with us, 45 minutes ago, and Dave's got essentially a 10-year contract that he just signed. Mm-hmm. So he's in his early 60s. I look for him to coach for a while. So Tony Vitello's in his mid-40s. I think he's 44 or 44. So, he would be a great selection. But listen, with this program, the foundation it's on, the facilities it has, there'd be a lot of people that want that job. Mm-hmm. You could do a whole lot worse than Tony Vitello. And like I said, if he's anointed by Dave Van Horn, everybody will welcome him with open arms. And you should anyway, because he's a great baseball coach.
You mentioned our conversation with Hunter Yurchek. In our conversation, we touched on Woo Pig Weekend, Bud Walton Arena, some of the events going on. So if you missed it, go to our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. You'll find it there. I thought he touched on a lot of different things. He was honest about a few things as well. I think Bud Walton Arena, I think that conversation with everything going on this weekend has kind of taken a back seat, but a lot of you still have very, very strong opinions on the facility changes there. So just, again, if you hadn't gotten a chance to listen to that, I would encourage you to do so.
One thing, and I went to the Kentucky game, I went to the Alabama game. I have seats that are on the sideline. in the upper deck. I like sitting there. It's easy to get into it, out of. Some don't like it. To me, that's where I prefer to sit. But if you look down, and those that sit in the upper deck know what I'm talking about, the corners in the upper deck, even for the biggest games, are rarely full. So this idea that they pack that building out, they may sell every seat, but not every seat's used. Now, I'll be honest, I don't want my seat when they start taking out 1,500 seats or whatever it is. Please don't move me to there because I won't come anymore. But and that's why those seats are empty. But yeah, there's seats, and then there's seats the university holds back, and they got some wiggle room. I mean, the reality is we need to brace ourselves. There's going to be 1,000 to 2,000 or so seats that that reduce the capacity but improve the quality of Bud Walton Arena when it's done.
All right, last thing here. As we get ready for the spring game tomorrow, it's going to kick off around 12:20 or so. I say the term kickoff loosely. I am praying that the first play that Dan Enos and Sam Pittman dial up is a Isaiah Satania go route. I hope they just let KJ chuck it deep first play of the game.
But the defense is terrible.
Will that happen? Yeah, I don't know, but I'd love for it to.
I bet we start with a little special teams action. That'd be my bet.
Yeah, some field goals, punts, whatever. Appreciate everyone joining us today. We got Hog Reaction in Arkansas Game Day on Saturday.
Game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication.